That is true. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Zelda Speedruns. I hope you're having a lovely day, afternoon, evening, morning, whatever time zone it is for you. Oh boy, do we have a doozy for you today. It's not often that I get to be on Restream with so many people, and it's also not often that I'm still that I'm as nervous before a Restream as I am today. Welcome to the Season 8 OTR Standard Tournament Settings Reveal. We have a lot to talk about today. We want to talk about settings. We want to talk about what led us there. We want to talk about hints. We want to talk about the tournament format. And to start us off, though, pick a different font. Good grief, baseball. Be nice. To start us off, though, I want to hand this over to Jackstronomy because they were the one who was incredibly influential and important in helping us understand all y'all's feedback after Season 7 had concluded and in the run-up to Season 8. So, Jax, take it away. Let's talk about what we learned.
Yeah, hi. Welcome, everybody. So, I did contribute to these feedback analysis not knowing that I was going to be one of the people analyzing it. We had a pretty significant feedback to both of our surveys, both the S7 feedback and the Tourney org survey. I'm really happy with that. Thank you for coming up with that. And this is something that was really important in light of the community discussion forums. There was a lot of very strongly held opinions. And frankly, the problem with discussion forums is that sometimes we see people who are really interested in talking about something where it is not actually a main priority. So these surveys were amazing. Thank you so much. So the first thing, I saw the talk in chat about draft. Overall, the opinions about draft were highly negative. We had a 72% response saying that they did not prefer draft to fixed, and a 74% saying we should go back to fixed settings. There was a really cool set idea that was put forth in this feedback to look at doing some variety settings. And unfortunately, we just did not have time to properly scope some variety settings. So that's something you should look forward to in the next year or so. We'll be looking at developing some fixed setting strings to be played between. So a couple of fixed settings. And there was a lot of specific feedback. I read a lot of things where people were looking at drafting having potential versus not feeling like there was an identity. The other really big thing I was really looking at is that we had a significant drop in our participation in publicly posted pickup races. The pre-S6 publicly posted pickup races were around 147, and there were 47 in the pre-S7 period. So, in interest of allowing people to have a easier time to get into racing, having more of a community around racing and preparation, I thought it was very important that we discourage this kind of behavior. So the biggest things that we saw were, one, no drafting. There was one very clear thing, and we've checked this multiple times. Chickens. There are 3 chickens. There are 3 chickens. So the other thing we had from feedback was the S8 weekly settings, and we tried AD with 2 pre-completed in the month of June. This was something where there was a significant amount of people saying this would be a fun thing to try. It had some previous traction. And it turns out that people were kind of neutral about it. But not a lot of people enjoyed it, and more people than didn't enjoy it was that they did not want to see it for S8 because they felt too linear. So we did land on testing Vanilla Bridge, and so far, one of the big things that I looked at was a lot of people, about 70% of people were interested in testing Vanilla Bridge, is what we've been doing. Vanilla Bridge being Ganon's Castle opening with Shadow and Spirit medallions plus light arrows. And one of the other big things here is that the split wing conditions imposed by Vanilla Bridge is going to impact logic, and a lot of people thought this was a good idea. A lot of the things we were looking at included how do we balance routing, logic, and execution? One of the most interesting pieces of feedback from the original thing was that not a lot of people prioritized execution as the highest requirement for Rando. Most people thought that routing and logic reading were more important. One of the things that I thought was extremely interesting was that all of the previous top 64 players who sat out S7 said that logic was their most important skill. This is what they view as the most important skill. So what we took from that is that there was some idea that maybe we've gone too far towards routing in S7, so we wanted to bring back a little bit of logic complexity. And this is something that Vanilla Bridge does do. There is a logic document. There is a centralized explainer document about the impact of split win conditions that we have put together. So there is a logic document. And if you want to ask me privately, I've come up with all sorts of weird analogies for how it works. But yeah, the other thing is that about Dungeon Ensign's Randomizer, which I know is very popular, I like it. I like Dungeon Randomizer personally, and frankly, a lot of people, feel the same way I do, where they enjoy it, but they think that the novelty has worn off for a lot of people. So DER is probably not going to be on the table for S8. It may be on the table for one of our settings that we developed for S9. And finally, I did not share this particular document because I never actually changed the title here. Talking about fire arrow entry, there were 2 questions we asked. The first question was, do you want to see fire arrow entry tested for impact in the event of rules that change? And if fire entry was allowed, should the easier FAE setting be turned on for accessibility? The trick here is that fire arrow entry is historically contentious. It has not been standard rule set legal since S2, and most people have not raced with legal FAE. The most interesting thing here is that the community is highly divided. That is basically the single largest population are people who would like a test without easy FAE, and this is technically a majority. However, the group that does not want to test at all is 29%. So what you're seeing is what we hear in discussion, that we have a very strongly contentious and split community. And the S8 will not be taking on the fire arrow entry because it is not going to be in the standard rule set, and because it is much more split than you think it is. It is very evenly split in terms of people's opinions on it. The final thought I had was about S8. Our philosophy here, our entire design was based on aspirational. We want this to be aspirational. We want this something where someone who can watch this and feel like, I could learn how to do that. So thank you for all of your feedback. Thank you for listening to us. Thank you for participating in the weeklies. And Keelys, keep us in the loop about your opinions. We still have the forums where you can talk to us on in the Trinity.org forum on the main Discord. Or just talk to me, or just yell at me. That's also an option.
Alrighty, thank you, Jax. So yeah, this was basically the start of our journey from us tournament organizers. So also from me, hello everybody. I kind of pig at the beginning because I just wanted to say hello in the beginning, that we are the tournament organization team. Sponge, unfortunately, couldn't be here today, and Barbu, our French team member, is actually right now live with Papi Grant on the French restream, which I'm really happy that we were able to set up, that we have also a French settings reveal. So yeah, what are we doing? We are coming from the feedback, and now we are going towards the settings. Let's go with it. The biggest thing and the main, which also follows the logic preferences of the community, is vanilla rainbow bridge requirement, which means we need the shadow and spirit medallion as well as the light arrows to access Ganon's castle. This is the biggest new-ish thing for the standard tournament. Everything else around that is kinda, let's say, basic. So the Ganon's Castle boss key is, as always, 6 medallions. It's all locations reachable. It's chest appearances matches content. So our idea is to have a really quote-unquote clean set of settings with that one prioritization on logic, which does happen with the split win condition, which we can also see in SGL with the 3 stones and lags BK, but in this case it's vanilla Rainbow Bridge. The other things I think we have on the chart, it's random child spawn, vanilla adult spawn. Keep in mind starting age is random. This is important for the hint distribution later, but Hyper is gonna cover that. And the other things are blue fire arrows are on, Coco's on 3. That's basically what the community wanted. So we didn't have any issues with going with that. Why these settings or why not some other settings? Already mentioned, we don't want to take any shortcuts, like literally and metaphorically. Even though there are some quality of life changes that maybe some people like, we do think for the main tournament, we are not aiming for a fast, like obviously we don't want 4-hour seats, but it's not the goal to have jet seats all the time, and have a quote unquote clean set of settings. So as a general information, we are not going to start with Lens of Truth. We are not going to start with FW, Furrow's Wind. We are not going to have free Scarecrow's Song. There are no pre-planted beans. We are also, and I know a lot of people don't like that, we are also not going to have Rudo on F1 enabled. That's one of the bigger discussions we had internally too, because we do know that a lot of people like it, but in terms of the execution and keep it clean and no shortcuts, we decided against it. Another thing that came up also is we were discussing banning the chest minigame without Lens of Truth. But ultimately we decided against it because we didn't want to diverge from the standard rule set. We can talk about that later when we talk about rules. We are gonna post obviously rules on Mido's house, and there will also be a full list of settings for overview. Did I forget anything important to say?
No, I know some of the things I wanted to point out. I see Jack's already said it in chat, but a lot of these decisions that we made on what not to start with, you mentioned that it factors into execution. Execution was not the highest priority for a majority of the community, but we kind of read into that as once you reach a certain level of execution, you stop thinking of that as a priority because you know that you're on a similar level as other people. You're thinking more about that routing and logic aspect. And so that's why a lot of those kind of, shortcuts or time saves, whatever you want to call them, are off. Is we're just trying to balance that on that execution piece. I'm also really surprised, personally, how chill everyone has been about the Rainbow Bridge condition, because it's been a few seasons, but S4, when Ganon's was open really early, because it was only 2 meds, I thought this was going to be a bigger grenade for the community. But I think between it being, specific medallions and light arrows, along with that kind of path helping us figure out is Ganon's on the table or not, I'm excited to see a large dungeon kind of back on the table a little earlier.
Yeah, we are talking about hints basically now, if there is nothing we need to add anymore, so we can skip ahead to the hint distribution, because that's a very, very big bullet point also for the vanilla Rainbow Bridge. So there you go.
Yeah, thanks, Cassandra. Hey everyone, what's up? I'll cover the hints that we're going to go through. So obviously, the hint distribution was very focused around the vanilla bridge setting. Having a split win condition, for those that have played SGL before, would know that understanding how that priority order works is very important. We'll get into that a little bit more in a little bit, but we'll go through the actual hint distribution first. So we have 5 always hints, which is just your typical Skull Mask, Big Goron, Frogs 2, Burning Cack, and the Ocarina of Time song. We also have 5 path hints, or goal hints, however you want to think of those, which we'll go into a bit more detail of shortly. We have 3 Baron hints at the Temple of Time. They will always be the left side, the left center, and the right center gossip stones at Temple of Time. And then we have a song hint on the right gossip stone. We'll go into that one a little bit more detail as well, because that's a new hint that people really haven't seen too much of before, unless you played the weeklies recently. We also have jewel hints coming in, so there's 2 jewel hints in the seed this season, and 6 sometimes hints. So that fills up the 40 gossip stone slots. So there's no junk gossip stones anywhere, unless there's a super rare edge case where the generator can't fill any of the hint slots. Then you'll see junk hints. Very unlikely to happen, but if you do see a junk hint, you know that for some reason there wasn't a hint able to be filled. Most commonly might be if there's only 2 foolish areas, then you might get a junk hint on that stone. So going into how hint prioritization works, Jack's Astronomy touched on, we have a document available, so I won't spend too long talking on this as much, because that document explains it very well at how it works. But if you're familiar at all with SGL, you'll be familiar with these settings and how that priority kind of works. But the big thing is, if you played the weekly settings, we didn't have a setting called 1 hint per goal enabled. That was only recently merged to dev, so that's really helped with our settings and what we're looking for. Basically, what this setting does is it ensures that path hints show up a bit more the way that you would expect. So less duplicates, so you're less likely to get like a double path to Morph or a triple path to Phantom Ganon or something like that. It can still happen, but this setting helps avoid that. The way it does that, I'll sort of walk you through the generator process. Is there's 3 different goal categories. So there's the path to bridge, which is your shadow medallion, your spirit medallion, and the light arrows. There's path to Ganon's boss key, which is the other 4 remaining medallions. So that's light, forest, fire, and water. And then there's also path of the hero, which is the new setting. Now, with our settings, because light arrows are required for the bridge, you won't see path of the hero hinting towards the light arrows. It will only hint towards a magic or a bow if magic or bow is not required for anything else in the seed. For example, if Shadow Temple is a required dungeon to beat, you're not going to see a path of the hero magic, because magic is required to beat Shadow Temple. So the way that this order kind of works is the generator will always guarantee 1 hint from each goal category. So you'll typically always get 1 path to bridge and 1 path to Ganon's boss key. If path of the hero exists, you would be guaranteed to get one of those as well. From that point on, it will make sure that it will hint 1 path randomly. It doesn't have to be a bridge. It doesn't have to be a Ganon's boss key path, but it'll make sure that it doesn't double up on, say, like if it's already hinted Phantom Ganon, it won't double up on that again, unless every other goal type has been filled. So you're more likely to see, say, 5 different boss
And I think we might have just lost Hyper.
Yeah, I think so.
Oops.
Whoops.
So I guess the question is, who hated the settings that much that Hyper was just killed off?
I'm back.
Who
I'm back. I got
kicked him?
There he
deleted.
goes.
Sorry
Fine,
about
it was
that,
just-
everyone.
It was just the spider,
You're
right?
Yeah, it just got attacked by a drop bear really quickly, so I'm back now.
Just Aussie things.
Yeah, so just quickly, just to recap, all of that sort of stuff. So it's more traditional with what you expect with path hints. You're more likely to see 5 different path types for one of each boss. The quirk with this is bridge paths always take priority over boss key paths in terms of the items. So any particular item that is required to open the bridge cannot be hinted on a Ganon's boss key path. So, for example, if Shadow Temple was one of your bridge medallions and Din's Fire was locked in the Crater Fairy, you would need the hammer to get the Din. So the hammer could not be pathed to a boss key path, basically. It would have to be hinted on a bridge path. So that's kind of how the priority works, and that works all the way through. So the priority is always bridge, then Ganon's boss key, then path of the hero. So that's the priority order. But if you want a better, more detailed explanation, that's why we have the hint prioritization document. Definitely recommend having a look at that. That's extremely helpful. Jackstronomy and Fennel put that together. I think they've done an amazing job, and it'll help people really understand how that part works. But we really like the idea of having to think about your hints and sort of just not having it be spoon-fed, and just a different way of approaching path hints this season. So just quickly going into the song hints. So the song hint is quite a simple one, really. It's just it always hints one of 6 songs. So those 6 songs are the Composer Grave song, the Temple of Time, so the Prelude check, Adult SFM, Death Mountain Crater, Ice Cavern, and Desert Colossus. So we'll always hint one of those 6 locations. We really like this hint because sometimes it's like not a great hint. It might be like the Prelude check and you start with Forest Medallion, so it wasn't useful that seed. But then other times it might be like the Desert Colossus and Requiem is just buried and you don't know if you need to cross the wasteland or not. So it can be really useful in those kind of situations. And same as with our settings, in our hints document, we also have a full list of the sometimes jewel hints in the appendix. That's always something that comes up in discussion. People want to know what the full list is, so feel free to check that out and you can see all the hints that are available.
Also, I do think, if I might jump in for the hint prioritization, we do have a showcase race after this. So maybe while the runners are playing, there is also opportunity to talk about that more when we have specific situations or something, and then that makes things clearer too, I think. Okay, so I think Tobias wanted to talk about the tournament format, although we already kind of announced that anyways. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, let's talk about tournament format, because obviously we made a pretty drastic change this year, and that I think deserves explanation. So Jack's already covered a lot of that, or a lot of the feedback that we received from you all, and Jack's already, and they've also talked at great length about how much how lucky we were to have such a great community that was actually open to discussing all of these things with us. So the most important bit first, the main tournament this year will be a top 32 tournament. It will no longer be top 64. We believe that this is going to be a more competitive environment. We believe that this is going to be a challenge to qualify for, and we believe that it should be hopefully really exciting to watch the qualifiers, as well as obviously make for great racing. But also, one of the main pieces of feedback that we got time and time again was that in the end, the Season 7 tournament really took its time to finish. It took a long time because there were a lot of races to play. There were a lot of there were just a lot of things that just took a lot of time. And in the end, the main tournament ended up taking until, gosh, I think it was April or May even. And one of the biggest feedback items that we got time and time again is that just ended up a lot of taking a lot of the excitement away, even because people started just focusing on other things. So, top 32 dual elimination bracket, a double elimination, I should say. That means there will be a upper and a lower bracket. There will be a second chance for everyone who ends up, for whatever reason, not succeeding in their first race. And we arrived at this format, and obviously it's not a novel format, but we had actually a lot of internal discussions about which format to go for, what we ended up just going for was a tried and true format, but the other formats we considered a bunch of other formats as well. We considered what was it? We had, for example, the discussion about, do we maybe do a double elimination tournament, but will the upper bracket maybe be best of 3 and the lower bracket best of 1? Or do we do single elimination? Do we do top 32? Do we do top 48? We believe that this is going to be an exciting tournament for everyone to play, where there won't be a giant skill gap between the first and last player to make it into the tournament, and where there is going to be, hopefully, a bunch of exciting matches in that tournament. And since I wear too many hats in this community, I should also mention about Challenge Cup, because I have the privilege of being an organizer for that tournament as well. So, quick note on Challenge Cup. Challenge Cup will still be a 64-player tournament. So Challenge Cup will take in places 33 to 96. Someone double check my math, please. On the qualifier roster. That means Challenge Cup will be a tournament for those who aspire to make it to the main tournament next year, those who have an interest in getting or in getting up there and honing their OTR skills, and will hopefully also be a super exciting tournament to watch, to play in, because we think with a player roster that stretches from place 33 to place 96 of the qualifier rankings, we should also have some damn fine players in Challenge Cup. Forgive me my my wording here, and I'm looking forward to hosting this tournament as well. As always, the Challenge Cup will be hosted mainly or mostly on the Silver Gauntlets, the sister channel, I could probably say, to ZeldaSpeedRuns. And that's all about Challenge Cup, I think. And so, no, someone said in chat earlier, before Challenge Cup will be places 33 to 64. No, that's not the case. Again, Challenge Cup will be still a 64-player tournament. It will be groups into brackets, though. Groups into single elimination brackets. Because in Challenge Cup, just as well, we took your feedback to heart that the tournament felt like it took too long to complete. And so Challenge Cup will be a format that is tried and true, and that worked well for us in the past. It'll be groups into single elimination best of 1 brackets, except semifinals and finals, which will be best of 3. All right. I think that's all from my side. Did I forget anything?
No, I don't think so.
No, I think
So,
that was-
yeah, we just wanted to also talk about rule set. I already mentioned it with the chess mini game thoughts and other things we were discussing internally. So, Fennel, do you mind?
Sure. So the big thing, first and foremost, the main tournament will be running on the standard rule set. No special exceptions here. We think that this most aligns with everyone's expectations. This is the standard tournament after all. It should be on the standard rule set. This does mean that 1 in 32, as in doing the treasure chest game without Lens of Truth, will be allowed once more. We have discussed this, as has already been mentioned previously. We have considered banning it. We have considered disabling the check or other things. In the end, we decided that the priority would be to stay with the standard rule set, and thus it will be allowed. This is something that we are most likely going to revisit for future seasons, especially with a pull request currently open, which would make it possible to disable lensless chess minigame from the randomizer itself. There has been some testing going on regarding the standard rule set in the past few weeks. And this is technically not our job. That's the race mods organizing that. But we felt like it would make sense to mention that here as well. So this testing has now concluded. So starting this week, the weeklies are once again going to be on the same rule set that you are all familiar with. And this will also extend into the qualifiers and brackets for Season 8. One new thing that we have coming up in this season is there is a new feature of the randomizer that allows a seed to be protected using a password, which means that we can be a bit more certain that people won't start the seed too early. So this is something that will be enabled or is already enabled actually in the weeklies and will continue to be enabled in the tournament as well. And basically there will be, when you start the seed, there will be a password prompt. The password is 6 Ocarina note buttons, so A or C buttons. And the bot will post the password once the countdown for the race timer starts. And this feature is implemented in both RandoBot and Mido and is available on release and on dev versions. So it should be available in all races.
And we will also see it in the showcase race.
Yes,
So
that's true. And one more thing, just to make sure people have enough time to enter the password in specifically in qualifiers, the race countdown will be set to 30 seconds, and it will, but it will still be 15 seconds in the bracket.
Basically, we trust that you have that you will have enough time to familiarize yourself with the password feature. That a 15-second countdown should not be an issue by the time brackets start.
Exactly, and for anyone who would like to see in detail how it works, other than, of course, the showcase race where it will be showcased already, we do have in our rules document for the tournament, we have a link to a video where the password is shown how it works in race time and in the game itself.
Shoutouts to Jimbo for making that. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks,
Thanks,
Jimbo.
Jimbo.
Another thing regarding the rules is we were heavily considering, we really tried to get it to work, if we could make it possible to allow the fair play agreement in qualifiers. However, in the end, there were quite a few hurdles, both the concern that it would cause too much of an advantage and also technical hurdles. So unfortunately, we were not able to allow the fair play agreement in qualifiers this season. The same thing goes for asyncs. We were considering, we were trying to make async qualifiers work, but in the end, it didn't happen. So unfortunately, no asyncs and qualifiers. However, in the brackets, asyncs will be an option. It will be a last resort option though. So you and your opponent will have to try to get a live race scheduled, and only if that is not possible, you can get permission to schedule your race as an async from an organizer.
Yeah. Oh, do you mind if I just kind of stress that, Fennel, that we're going to allow asyncs because we really want to keep that tournament moving, make sure that it is sticking within the timelines that we've set, but we would really prefer that asyncs only be if absolutely necessary.
Going back to the FPA for 1 second, one thing I forgot to mention is that FPA will automatically be enabled for all bracket race rooms opened by Mado. So you don't have to write the FPA on command, that will be handled automatically there. Speaking of Mado, most of you probably have heard of Midas House from side tournaments or last season's Challenge Cup. Midas House is a platform where events for the OTR community are organized, and this season, for the first time, the main tournament will be making use of Midas House as well. For you, this means that after the qualifiers are over, you will need a Midas House account to opt in to the tournament if you want to join. Any other requirements will be listed on the page to enter the tournament, so that should be self-explanatory. What this offers for you is that you will get commands to schedule your races on Discord. You will automatically be given the race time rooms for your matches, and seeds will automatically be rolled. Asterisk, only for live races right now. Asyncs will be handled by organizers. Maybe that will change in the future, but no promises. And of course, for us organizers, it makes things a lot less tedious during the tournament itself, because we don't have to manually keep track of every race's status. Yeah, I think that's it for tournament rules. Anything else we need to add?
No, I think we've covered everything. Everything else we forgot will also be found on the rules document, which will be posted on the Midas House event. You'll get the links in the announcement after this. Okay,
and obviously, if you have any questions after reading those announcements, again, we will get those out to you in a few minutes. bear with us as most of the tournament organizers team is actually, trying to keep this restream together. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. The chat channels in the OTR Discord are now open. So, but other than that, I think a tournament starts with qualifiers. Two tournaments in this case do start with those qualifiers. What about those qualifiers, Milkwe?
Yeah, thanks, Tobias. So yeah, when are we kicking all of this off? Well, we're going to be starting in mid-November. We are going to have 20 qualifiers as we have had in the past couple of years. They are going to look the exact same. It's going to be a live race. The scoring system has not changed from previous seasons, but it's going to take that, average score or finish time of 7, I believe, the first 7 finishers, and adjust the scores as it has done in previous seasons. We have a link to the calculation that's there in our rules document. The scoring system, we thought about looking at it, seeing if there was a way to adjust for what we consider a jet seed. But time got the better of us, and it kind of didn't make a large enough impact for us to really put that energy into it this season. But we might be seeking feedback from the community whether or not that's something that we think does need adjustment for next season. I hope everyone is excited as we are about this next point. We will not only have weekly time slots as our quals on weekends. I think every single one of us came into this team knowing that that was something that we really needed to change. Caveat here being, they are technically still at weekly times, just the current ones and old weekly times, but it is going to be rotating a little bit. So hopefully that variety allows more of the community to participate and find a schedule to make their minimum and maximum qualifiers available. Survey. We did do a survey on those midweek time slots. Thank you for everyone filling that out. We kind of put it off a little bit because with the, weekly time slot surveys going out, we didn't want to, overextend the community's involvement at one time. We had also still been hoping that we could provide an async option for quals, and when it became clear that that wasn't going to be feasible, we really needed to make those weekday qual times work. So thank you. I am hoping we have found something that fits most of the community. Kind of looked like that 7 to 9 time slot was really good for everyone in their respective zones. So we've really tried to hit on that. Some days, if 7 wasn't good, we might have moved it to a different day of the week. Just wherever it looked like the community really needed that to fill in, whether it's EU friendly or NA friendly, we've done our best to accommodate that. Hyper, did you want to say anything about this since you put that together? Or did that summarize it?
Yeah. I might wait until we show the actual schedule, and I'll talk mostly focus on the midweek times that we chose. And just talking about the reasons why we chose those particular time slots.
Okay. I think we can pull that up here so that they'll have a better visual when I talk about the opt-in period. We have that opt-in deadline listed here, Friday, December 27th. So the soonest brackets would be starting is that December 28th. As always, ZSR is going to take a little break over the holiday period, but we did want to give ourselves a little time to make sure that, everyone can opt in. They have a few days. They don't have to do it on Christmas Day. But we'll get going right away. No 2-week hiatus.
Speaking of getting going, here's the schedule.
Yeah. So as you can see, we are starting, I believe, a week later than last year. And we actually have an additional weekend slot, I believe, this year. I think there were 5 last year and a few extra midweek quals. So again, hoping that since weekends traditionally are more available, that works. Piper, if you want to talk about those weekday quals.
So with the weekday quals, the biggest thing was finding, we tried to try and split it so that NA had some good times and EU had some good times. So we had 8 weekday qualifiers. So we split them 4 and 4. Obviously, the way with time zones work out, it's just going to be better overall for NA, for people in NA that are able to make it for afternoons. Unfortunately, the better times for NA aren't as great for EU, but that's just the way it kind of worked out. In particular, the focus was for the Pacific time zone, the West Coast, because that's always been a big one where participation has been quite low because it's bad for most of the rest of the world. So the survey feedback really helped with that, and we knew straight away that we wanted to have at least one Friday qual for that, so that people going into their weekend, they can maybe stay up a little bit later and participate in that qual. And looking at the feedback from all the people, particularly from the West Coast, they all said that 9 o'clock or 9 p.m. was good for them. So just shifting that qualifier just an hour earlier than it has been in previous seasons, just to get hopefully get more people participating in that one, felt like a good change for us. And as Mel sort of covered, like that 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. was really the preferred time across both regions. So we've really tried to sort of stay around that time slot to get as many people in as we can. And just with the weekend time slots, you can see the rotation as Mel covered as well. So our first week is starting with the new weekly times. Then we're going back to the old weekly times in the second week. And then the third week is the new weekly times, but swap days. So that's a 3-week cycle. And then in the second block of 3 weeks, it repeats that same cycle again.
Yeah, so hopefully this meets the needs of the community. We're excited to see everyone participating. And we'll, make adjustments for next season as we get more feedback. And I think that's everything.
Yeah, I think we're good to go, right?
No.
Well,
No?
No, oh no.
Surprise.
Okay.
So there's 2 more things that we haven't talked about. So which version will the tournament be
Oh,
on?
yes.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Season 8 will be on version 8.2, and version 8.2 will release 5 minutes ago, because it's out. So if you want to play version 8.2, you can do that after the showcase, because you want to watch the showcase first. So that's point 1. Point 2 is, this entire tournament has been organized by a new team, by a new organization team. Completely new concept, completely new team. No participants in the team were in any function before in the race mod space. Guys, this is a new concept, and they put their heart and soul into the setup, into preparing this, into getting this going, into this reveal restream. Please give them feedback and please work with them. It's really important to me that you give them the chance to grow with the community and to make this even better. I'm really happy how this turned out. I just wanted to say that quickly. Give them a chance, even if there's some small things that you do not agree with right now, to make it even better next season. And that's all I want to say. Thank you.
Hey, thanks,
you,
Trez.
Oh,
Thank you so much giving us this chance. I think it's gone really well, and I'm excited to see people playing this season.
Yeah,
Do
me
that.
too.
Speaking
go.
of seeing people play, Hyper, I think you have something to attend to.
Yeah, I think I might leave.
All right, later,
Get
Hyper.
out of here.
See ya.
Good luck, have fun.
See ya.
Bye.
Good luck,
Good luck, have
Hyper.
fun, and also
Good
good luck,
luck.
have fun to the other 3 racers in this showcase race, because that'll be starting immediately. E-Cola, Ryukane, and What the Hell's Happened, as well as Hyper, have agreed to give us a taste of what Season 8 is going to be like. And I think without further ado, Hyper asked that I give him a moment to actually get set. And I'm waiting for his signal to get that started. But other than that, I think we are basically ready to start this showcase race. And your commentators for this race will be none other than the inimitable. That is a difficult word for a German to say. Jackstronomy and Welqui. Take it away, folks.
All right.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks, Tobias.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all. I'm not sure we are, but we sure are. But
Yeah,
yes,
if you're not
this
sick
has
of our
been-
voices already, get ready to
Oh,
be
yeah.
so.
But yes. So this is going to be our first match commentating this. I feel like I've done enough for prep. How about you? Mm-hmm.
I think I'm ready to go. I'm excited to see these four. Should be a good showcase race. We can see that password locked feature already indicated on their screen,
Yes.
so that's exciting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I haven't actually checked out the password lock feature yet because I've been busy with other stuff. So I'm looking forward to seeing this.
Yeah, as Jimbo is saying, it is very possible to end up starting early when the password feature is on, so be clear that it does not actually go back to the main menu.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, Leslie Pro, these seeds are password locked, so once they are all readied up in the race time room, it will give them the password for the seed. They will then enter it. It looks like ocarina buttons. So they'll enter it the way they would play a song in-game.
Yep. So you cannot skip Ocarina Memory game. Is that what that means?
I mean, at your own peril.
In a way. But yes, this has been a really interesting setup. I'm really excited to see how this goes. And again, more of Kirok's more of Kirok's genius here.
Yeah. Yep. So when you hit yes after being on this initial start screen, it will take you to the enter password screen. Once they have entered the password, it will no longer say password locked on that main menu.
And yeah, I was pointing out we have a prelude start, and you're seeing Nicola and Ryokane go straight to Temple of Time, which is there are important hints here, so that's good to know. And yeah, we have OoT song, which is always a fun one.
Domain Foolish, Jabu Foolish, Lake Hylia Foolish, and Epona's in Composer Grave.
Okay.
So that's one of those newer features. Plenty of other tournaments have used that, function of forced foolish hints at Temple of Time. But the song hint is new. This was kind of one of those, how do we balance this hint distribution so that it's still interesting to route, that you still have to make, tough choices along the way.
Yeah, and that's something where during the testing period, Cola put out a big long post talking about seed he played. I did play that seed as well. I did agree with him. One of the downsides of having all that information right up front is that you have a very linear path laid out for you, and that doesn't feel as fun to play or as competitive.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, it is 3 chickens. That was like, I will let you know. I looked at the data. There was many questions. Oh, do people actually want 3 chickens, or is it just like because what they've seen? The biggest thing people want is 3 chickens. The second follow-up would be random number of chickens. So no one wants 7 chickens unless it's randomly chosen for them.
Yep.
So we're not gonna be seeing a skull seed today. That's good. I like what the hell's happened. Just like casually like routing into the early game, very thorough.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually something where this particular set of Gossip Stone hints is not actually all that helpful for saying, oh, I'm likely to have an early dense seed, or likely to have early items are dense, early items are spread out. It doesn't tell you a lot. Like we see market foolish, it's like, okay, maybe my items are a little more spread out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So how do you feel about the song hint being there?
I think that's kind of an interesting one. Like, I don't feel negative about it. It definitely has, like, some interesting routing ideas. Like, for example, if you know opponent's there, you may not want to rush off to grab that the moment you get song time. You may want to wait until you're an adult, because opponents doesn't do you any good as a child. So it's like a minor routing convenience, really.
Yeah, one of the things that I consistently have said over the years is that the song sometimes hints were trash, because you always found it after you already had the song. And so I was really excited when most of those got removed from the pool for the majority of, hint distributions. But I think that them being at Temple of Time, like, fixed there, that's great, honestly.
Yeah, I think that's really the best. I think that's really the kind of best use case for that, having the just like minor routing convenience early up in the game to kind of, because the early game is really where things can get very repetitive.
Yep. So we're just continuing to see this kind of standard child opener here. We picked up Serenade, discount Prelude, but they already started with Prelude. One of the kind of metas of having a random child spawn, or just a child spawn anywhere, honestly, is I'm always hearing people say the seed's playable if I have a quick way to age change.
Yeah, and that is definitely one of the things behind looking at putting a random child spawn on, because that is actually a pretty significant skill, being able to route around the time of day change, getting to change ages.
Yep. And yeah, we have Saria's on Ocarina of Time, which isn't really super concerning usually, but never say never.
Yeah, this probably means that we're looking at a good amount of stuff in the Kakariko area, the Kakiri area, or adult Kakariko area.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it is pretty dry to start with, I agree.
Yeah, I'm not surprised at all to see Hell's already going child
or
adult.
I also agree with that. One thing I have noticed as far as, like, if you're trying to route in Lost Woods, particularly if you don't have, like, at this point, like, it's a little questionable whether you're going to want to go to Lost Woods for reasons of, do you have money? Do you have the ability to route things efficiently?
Yeah.
All right.
So let's talk about
water. Okay.
Yeah, let's talk about routing money a little bit, and how much I don't want to talk about routing money. That was one of the things, starting with consumables or a Deku Shield came up in our discussion for this season. And
honestly, as you can see, you already have to think enough about routing early game money.
Right, exactly. So it's like, do you really want to add something that's just tedium for the sake of that kind of minimalism that we talked about in other settings?
Yeah. So Vanilla Bridge means that to get into Ganon's castle, we need to have the Shadow and Spirit medallions and the light arrows. So, looking right now, I'm seeing Jabu and Water. This means that anything that we need to do Jabu or Water cannot be hinted for DC, Deku, or Spirit.
Mm-hmm.
So this means that if we have a long shot lock Spirit, we won't know it until we get there, because the game thinks that we need to get the long shot first to do Water. Yep. Essentially, the idea with the kind of nested path hints is that it is not relevant to open Ganon's boss door until you're already in the castle. So the game thinks that the game is basically prioritizing things in ordered list. I need to enter the castle first. Everything I need to enter the castle matters more than everything I need to open the door.
Get slingshot there. Yeah. Ooh, and Lullaby here in the windmill. That is great. You can pick up that horse, go find your bomb bag on Stalfos in GTG. Classic.
Yeah, where it always is. But yeah, nice to get that early ZL. Just thinking of, I do want to see what our child SFM song is. In Hell's position, I would feel okay trekking out to In this case, I would feel okay trekking out to Kakiri Forest as an adult because we don't have a required forest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thank you for linking that in prioritization document. I had a couple chain migraines this week, but so I did not actually get to draw the pictures I intended to draw for that, so I will probably add some pictures.
Totally missed whatever hell's picked up by the cow.
Yeah.
But it was
Well, we'll
something.
be seeing in a moment on Hyper's side.
Yeah, Hyper is opening these small chests here. Chews are going to be in small brown chests, which is a little different than what some other settings are playing with. There was discussion about using the chew texture. Ooh, a bottle.
Yeah. Oh, that's what it picked up. A stick upgrade. Very nice.
Stick upgrade. Yeah.
Yeah. The chew texture, which is in Triforce Blitz, is lovely, but there's definitely some feelings that this is a gamble of like deciding, do I open small chests or not? Do I invest that time?
Yeah. And we talked about that with the heart texture for a bit. But that was one of those kind of quality of life. Why would we alienate the part of the community that really benefits from that being on?
And people who are not more comfortable with lower hearts still benefit from having the heart chest. It's not like you don't. It's not like I don't have to be. It's not like I don't have to. I don't benefit from being able to just push a lot more towards getting some hearts if I know I have to do Fire Temple. Sorry, that's like. Hey, refill this coffee. There's no light arrows hint, but you will likely see a Path to Evil's Bane hint.
We actually saw it by the bridge scrub.
Yeah.
But you were chatting and I didn't want to interrupt you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, so Desert Colossus is Path to Evil's Bane, so that is going to be lights or something directly locking them. Oh, Kokiri's sword on Dampe.
So that is Hell's getting paid out for his routing decision to put off Lost Woods.
Light arrows are directly hintable by the Evil's Bane path.
Again, this was a discussion we had as far as directly hinted light. Evil's Bane will always be there.
Well, yes and no. There's still going to be 6 to 7 paths, ultimately, so Evil's Bane
may have a requirement to hint all three with the 1 hint per path. We do have a requirement to take something from each category with 1 hint per path.
Yes, but we still have too many paths for the number of paths allotted.
Okay, so the way I'm thinking about this is our first category of paths is going to be... Oh, I see what you mean. Never mind. Yes, that is
the math still... Yeah, the math still isn't going to math. There's always going to be more paths than are hintable. But it is much more likely. Yeah, it is much more likely.
So Spirit to Morpha. All right, so that means that we have to enter Spirit in some fashion to get to Morpha. This means that... so Spirit to Morpha, that means that you could have a hookshot in Spirit. You could have Iron Boots in Spirit. But you also are going to need to enter Spirit to get to Morpha. So anything you need to enter Spirit is not going to be hinted to... At least the part of Spirit you need for this path item is not going to be hinted towards Twinrova because you already need to get there. I'm going to refill the coffee, like I said. I'll be right back.
Yep, absolutely. We do have Requiem in Child Sacred Forest Meadow, and we already have a child ranged weapon, so that's great. I would take that into Spirit, having that information. So I wouldn't be too surprised to see Ryu and Ikola do that. It will also tell us if we need beans for the arch. Neither of them has Lullaby, unfortunately, and even if they did, we don't have explosives to check the fairy out there.
Yeah, so Baseball's pointing out, if the Iron Boots are in Child Spirit, you might be able to access them right now and get your Spirit to Morph a path. The more interesting there is that kind of ups the idea that if you do Spirit to go do Child Spirit, you may have a better chance of finding a hook shot. And to be fair, that would be something you'd expect anyway with a spirit to Morpha, right?
Mm-hmm. Hyper is going up the mountain as child.
That I don't know if I agree with that. Maybe he'll get. Does he have C? He has CL, so he can shortcut through.
Yeah.
He can shortcut through Goron City, but I don't know if I love that without having the ability to do any of the Goron City checks. That's a lot of time investment to open that shortcut.
Yeah, exactly.
If you could if you could grab any of the checks on the way, I would consider it just a play, but this feels a little bit aggressive.
Yeah, without even a strength. Like, I know Hyper knows several of these tricks with strength. They're not in logic, but he can do them. Was no Barons tested? No, it was not.
No, that one was not tested. We had a long list of things we wanted to test, and how many months to test them in?
3.
3. So essentially, we had to winnow down a little bit.
Yeah, I would say one of the things that I'm not afraid to say is that I suggested at one point that we only have Barons, 3 or 4 of them at Temple of Time and nothing else. No other hints, just Barons.
I know that has worked out very well. That feels good in SGL.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not terrible, but again, I think this is kind of
it's all right, Jimbo. I feel good about what we have here. I know that it's kind of, again, minimal is the word that I am using here. We didn't change a whole lot of things. But I like it as a scaling back from what Season 7 was, kind of returning to those roots of Rando. Yeah, Vanilla Bridge is a big change.
Yeah, Vanilla Bridge is a big change. It's definitely something where a lot of people kind of came in, our team kind of came in biased towards it because we played with it before, and one of the things that we do like about things like SGL and League is the fact that Ganon's Castle can be impactful, but doesn't have to be.
Mm-hmm.
And that felt a little more interesting than just having it be open on 2. I mean, Emo Soda, sorry for being a hater. We all know about your opinion about Sun Song. You can't help it.
Yeah, Emo, the 6 med thing, I did think about that. I brought it up in a call, but there wasn't a very easy way to get around keeping the 6 med win condition without making it kind of a more blitz type seed length.
Yeah, and also, inside Yan's Castle path to Twin Rovas.
To Twin Rova.
Something about that? Did I say something about it possibly being relevant?
Yeah, and that's one of, like, getting inside Ganon's is great. Because you know right away that you're gonna have to go there. Because that was one of the kind of negative feedback pieces that I remember from Season 4 is there's so many different item requirements. If it's open really early, when do you decide to go?
One second. Sorry, we just lost our game feed, so
Oh, there's a link.
Oh, there's a link. Good. Yeah. Very good. I just lost my game feed. Yeah. Again, there's a lot of things that I love and I like and I enjoy about, playing settings that are not standard, but again, you have to you're just gonna have to be accept the fact that not everyone's gonna like that. It may not be considered to be the best for this particular audience. Again, mixed pools. I love mixed pools.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we have Hell's Bacchus Child doing Deku Tree. It is a medallion dungeon, and there was a strength in there. We have Ryu doing Dampé Digging, I believe. Oh, checking for choose. Ikola in Child Spirit, so we'll see if that path is reachable at this point, or if we have to go deeper.
Yeah, there's maximum 3 checks we can do here. Maximum 2 checks we can do here. I really wouldn't be surprised with that path to Twinrova if we saw needing to find both of our strengths and get out there as adult at this point, because we do.
Yeah. Wouldn't be too surprising. It just kind of... It makes Ganon's a little less exciting, because now you're just like... It's just Mirror Shield, I guess.
It's Mirror Shield. There were no keys in Child Spirit, so we're going to need to enter Spirit Temple to get our either a hook shot or iron boots, most likely.
Yep.
Bad end.
It's a little hard.
Tunic.
Oh, sorry.
Bad end is Zora Tunic, you know. Carry on. Sorry. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Ikola is taking that directly to the well. And yes, Baseball's asking in chat, so Strength 2 in theory would be path to Morpha before Rova? Yes. If there is not a third accessible strength, our Strength 2 is going to be path for Morpha. So, hey, 1 strength, 1 closer.
Yep, and even if it's long shot locked, similarly, that's going to be for Morpha.
Again, the very silly thing that I came up with as an analogy is that you do need to wear your clothes at work. You should probably wear your clothes before you go to work as well.
Here's a thing that might hurt Ikola and Ryu. Both are coming to well without Lullaby.
Yeah, without Lullaby, pardon me. Yeah, and that there is something locked.
Yep. And even though strengths could be important for the basement chest, we still don't have any explosives. So, alright, Ryu's going adult. And we'll see. I wouldn't be surprised to see Hells and Hyper both go out to Spirit as well.
And this is definitely a case where holding out and going to Lost Woods afterwards is later.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I said that was a very silly analogy. I'm enjoying the chat's exceptions to my analogy. It's very good. Yeah, that's another thing as far as tricks that Hyper is doing B1 skip. We did look at potentially removing tricks. The tricks we have that are standard, we have not added or removed any logical tricks. So you still would need that slingshot that we got extremely early, logically. Oh, hey, we have a fire arrow extremely early from Ryu. Nice early rush of 10 skulls.
Yeah.
Pointing out that Desert Colossus to Evil's Bane, that's an interesting point. What do you think are the odds that that chest in the well that we saw Ikola swim over could be our light arrows.
Mm-hmm. Did either of them peek the top of the arch?
I'm assuming they did. I just did not parse it.
Yeah, I didn't see
Pardon me,
either
it's
of
been a
them
hot
do
second
it.
since I've commentated 4 screens at once.
Yeah, it has been a long time since I've done 4 runners on a restream layout. There we go. We'll continue that thought.
Yep.
It is not a joke hint, no.
Yes, so that is something you are very, very likely to see. If you don't see it, either you're unlucky or your light arrows are directly hinted on another hint.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so we have Ryukane and yeah. So Evil's Bane is part of bridge access. So it is before. So the prioritization is anything that leads to Shadow Medallion, anything that leads to Spirit Medallion, anything that leads to Light Medallion are in what I call Category 1. Those are the most important categories. Everything in those categories is going to be the highest priority. Then your Forest, Fire, Water, and Light Medallions are in Category 2. That's the Open the Door category. And then in the highly unlikely case where there is a bow or magic that's not required for anything else, you're going to get a Category 3 hint for Path of the Hero. That should be like, I think when we ran some data, it's like 1.4% of the time you got that happened, which is about as often as you think that would happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, Light Med belongs with Forest, Fire, and Water in... No, I do mean Light Med. Light Med belongs with Forest, Fire, Water, and in the Category 2 hints. Light Arrows belong in Category 1. Path to Tower is not possible. Path to Tower is only for having trials on.
That... Was it just a huge rupee? It's yellow,
Oh, I did
but...
say Light Med was just some bridge paths. I apologize. Okay, so just money. Okay. It's either money or the arrows themselves, but I think it's money. I'm assuming everyone else is right. Fennel, thanks for catching me. Yeah. So light arrows belong with Spear and Shadow Med.
All right. Well, runners just kind of swapped places. Those who went adult earlier, though, having that lullaby, having that access to Deku and a strength. I don't know how important that one strength could or will be, but given how dry this is,
Yeah.
I think it could be pretty important.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. I think that given we've seen so little in the way of anything, a strength DC is not the worst. Ooh, well, the Baronade.
Yep. And we did see a big chest there. It was ZL locked. Ikola killing
Taking
Link.
a death warp. Remember, everybody, it's always a death warp if you don't care where you end up. But in this case, he does just want to go back to the entrance instead of walking out. Perfectly reasonable thing to do when you're already on low health and you would prefer not to venture off into the world with half a heart after leaving Post Your Grave.
Are we seeing Valley from Hells? Maybe just the hint.
Definitely the hint. Ice Cavern. Interesting.
Oh.
That probably in that case that thing in the well is almost certainly Rudo's letter.
Mm-hmm. So 2 Evil's Bane is interesting, but I'm looking at the other dungeons that we have to do. We already know that a lot of spirits items will not be hintable. We have a Twin Rova path anyway, but I am guessing that means we do not have a path bomb bag for Dodongo.
That is almost always going to be true when you have your Dodongo on your door path.
Or we do.
And it's weird.
That being,
Actually,
having an ice cavern shouldn't be the case.
I mean, it could happen.
It could happen.
You'd have to see a scale, but it could happen.
Yeah. And we are seeing Valley and River.
Honestly, both of those are really, really fun plays here. Good early plays.
Bow.
Well, Ecola's going for it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, it might be Rang. It's Rang.
Ooh, interesting. So that.
Yeah, so Letter being in well.
Seems very likely here. I think once you see... I think Hells in particular is probably going to be in a good place for that.
Yeah, I think so. Hyper going into well, we suspect that it's Letter in that big chest that we have seen, but there are also a few other checks that we have not been able to peek yet.
Yep, there are the 2 checks by Dead Hand are definitely interesting with not having our... not having had ZL when we went in there as Ecola.
Yep, another bottle here.
I like Rio just pushing straight back.
I think that was Skull Mask is dead.
Ooh,
Hovers.
That's not what I expected.
That is not what I was thinking. What?
So that means our... Oh dear.
What's our crater song?
I don't know what our crater song is.
Magic.
Also, magic. Also that boomer... If for some reason our bombs are very, in a very weird location, that puts the boomerang in logic.
Yep, that boomerang is in logic. Goron Pot is dead. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Magic in the Valley, which is very nice. That's going to be... That actually can be kind of a pain in the butt to get to.
Yep. So,
I mean,
I'm not
I am
sure.
a Valley Lakehater, but... Oh, hey. Scale. Oh, dear. I don't like this.
ZL locked. Yeah.
ZL locked scale. Scale that can get us into a domain.
IJC to Twin Rova again. Interesting. So
neither... So the hovers are... It's not for the... It is not for the boomerang, but... That's interesting.
Yeah. I'm not sure if Icola planned to come into ice, but with that bottle, how do you not at this point?
Yeah, I mean... There's a bunch of hints here. Another thing that, like, this is a me thing, but every time I see a hint for an area, I'm like, well, if it hinted something in the area, maybe it's certainly not foolish.
It's like a heart container down there.
Yeah. We like to see. Ooh, good job with Hyper skipping that cycle. That is something I consistently have difficulty with.
Oh, and a big chest back here. And the only small key Ryu has is from that ZO locked check, so that's 2 big chests that Icola will have to think about coming back for. And if there is a big chest in the basement... Oh, okay.
Bomb bag.
That's
gonna
great
open
for
a lot.
Ryu. So that's 3 key locked.
Yep, so that is behind ZL for sure.
And bomb locked.
Also, we have blue fire arrows. I think that Ryu must have counted out the... Oh, it says bomb locked.
Yeah.
If
It's
Ryu counted that out and didn't get the... Did Ryu peek the basement already? Because I would assume that if he peeked the basement, then he knows that there's a bomb lock key down there. Or if he doesn't peek, he didn't peek the basement and didn't jump back down.
Yeah. Well, I suppose it's a what have I seen, what haven't I seen.
Yeah.
Oh, Piper grabbing this skull, nice.
Mm-hmm.
Typically you're counting your keys, so you've picked one up from dead hand.
Piper also jumping down, that's a key in the basement, so...
Yep.
And yes, you can just jump off and grab that skull. That is probably the only time I would consider that skull worth it for a non-50 seed.
Yeah.
That's something I've been actively working at, is breaking myself of my habit of being an ultra-aggressive skull rush and trying to just keep in mind that if I'm not going for 50, there are fast skulls and there are not fast skulls.
Mm-hmm.
We're looking at a song for our Ice Cavern path here.
Yeah, because the final chest is hinted dead.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see. We're still looking for a bow. But that bomb bag, I wouldn't be too surprised for a pretty quick trip to DC here. Okay, so fire, boss key, loot. Both small keys.
Mm-hmm.
We also saw... Oh, toilet is a small key. I think we had that earlier.
Yeah, so that's actually hammer, loop, and fire as keys. So that hammer, that means that unless you really want to check the first thing in fire, not really worth heading into unless you have a hammer.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well...
Ooh, we got ourselves a nice big chest out here in Southfield, including a hint telling us that both of our fairies are dead. We love that. Put those back.
Oh, eye drops.
Put those back.
Oh, that sucks.
That is a very awkward item to find at this point.
I mean, I might just rush turning that in so I don't lose it.
Honestly, looking at what I want to be doing right now, I would prefer to be doing a lot more things that involve, I don't know, maybe save somebody a time of day.
Yeah.
And also, Ryu has not done Deku yet, so he's got incentive to stay child longer.
Yep.
The eye drops were in the Southfield Grotto. Southern Remote. Right, so we're about to see what this path to Evil's Bane is out here. I hope a Nocturne. It could also be Minuet. Yep, it's Minuet.
Yeah.
We love doing Ice Cavern to get access to adults.
This is yet another one of those things where I am all for, like, can we just please add jumping over Mido into logic? Please. But then you have moments like this, where it's like, did you remember your access to Sacred Forest Meadow?
Yeah, I'm like highly for keeping Mido skip in as a trick for that exact reason.
Castle Fairies, I think, are both choose, or one is
One
bombs and one
choose,
is choose.
bomb refill. Neither
Okay.
are really...
We're not getting those, probably. Well, Hells is getting them because...
Yeah. I swear one of these days I'm just gonna play a seed that is just all of the tricks off, all of it, and just see how stupid it is.
Yeah, well, that was another option for, like, okay, 1 in 32, if we decided that we were going to disable the check, but then lens is only hintable for, crossing wasteland. Do we just add in all of the lens stuff that's been off forever?
Yeah. And you definitely wouldn't want to do that, because that basically makes Shadow Temple very sad.
Exactly.
I do not remember where you need that logically in Shadow.
I think you need it for at least the
Yes,
big
could be the
bit
invisible
room.
platforms, but
Yeah.
well, Nicole is back in the well, so he'll be grabbing the hover boots and the bomb bag and the scale.
Yep. And blue fire arrows, but they're no good to him.
Yeah, blue fire arrows, we need a bow first.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone else needs that magic, which either they'll have to go to Valley, or they will stumble across the other one.
Yeah.
Burning Hack is Song of Time. Probably saw that one already, I just missed it.
I don't think so. Yeah, that was in a bomb lock check, so...
Okay. So I guess we still haven't seen our Crater song.
Yeah,
Yeah, it has to be Bolero or Nocturne at this point.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Like, maybe those hovers aren't just for picking up the rang.
Well, it's clearly not for hookshot.
Okay.
But it's clearly not for picking up the rang, because you could either use the scale to get into River, or use
the scale was just ZL locked, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, hookshot in Lost Woods.
I'm still fairly sure that bomb bag is not in Logic. No one's going to care about this. No one will care about this. But
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's not in Logic, which is...
It shouldn't be. Yeah.
I think it would have to be, you'd have to be able to have... If you saw Din's Fire, it would be in Logic.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we'd either have to find Din's or another bomb bag. So...
Yeah.
I'll be curious to see if Hyper actually goes into Forest here.
Yeah, he has the option.
Doesn't have the minuet information for Ice, but it is Quick Skulls and doing... Oh, you can only do 2 checks in here. Yep, there we go.
No, you can do a fair number. If you get a key, you can do a fair number.
If you get a key, we have hovers.
Yeah, you have hovers, so you can do a fair number. Yeah, I might have considered dipping in, honestly. Because it's been fairly dry, and without Minuet, that's questionable.
I would much rather go do what I can in Goron City and Crater in that position.
Yeah, you have an entire dungeon able now with required in Logic dungeon available with DC. It's not in Logic, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, and you can get Song of Time after, Song of Time.
You can get the Song in the Crater, which no one else has been able to do yet.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they often get it, but they have not made it there yet. They've not routed it there yet. Nice job using that bomb explosion animation to make these walls twice as fast. Yeah, what I mean is they can all get there, just no one has gone there yet. I do like that hint, but I prefer... It's just so slow with bombs. If you can do that double blow-up thing, it's actually really nice.
Alright. Cola gonna pick up that hookshot as well here. Nothing in DC so far.
Yeah, the song will be interesting because that's either gonna be Bolero or Nocturne, and then you may not need to walk up there.
Yeah. Well, there's also
So
the
that's actually nice.
volcano. We
yeah.
can get the volcano.
Absolutely. It's funny, we say it's dry, but because of the exact dungeons we have here, we've been able to make some decent progress.
Mm-hmm. We have Nocturne.
Okay. So you have Nocturne. You can see that Din's fire, and we can get into Shadow as well.
That was just a rupee in the wall.
Yeah, Cole is doing our Trogorn City checks, which are notorious for being skippable. There's a Ruto's letter.
Okay.
Wait.
Interesting.
So that bomb bag is path, isn't it?
That bomb bag is bomb locked.
Yes, but there could be Din's fire out here somewhere.
But the other key is still bomb locked.
Oh, the other key's bomb locked. Okay. Never mind.
Yeah, because we didn't...
Yep, never mind.
I mean, I didn't see the other key, I guess, but...
Yeah, but I was
But you wouldn't pick up the... You wouldn't wait to pick up what the other... Sorry.
Right.
You would not wait to pick up the key from Dead Hand if you had access to a key. Exactly, so that Ryu and Ikola both had to go back for that. It had to be bomb locked.
Yeah, it's bomb locked. Okay, so then what is path to... What is path to Bearmate in the well? It can still be the bomb bag. No, it can't be the bomb bag. But it can still be the scale.
Yeah, I mean, it could very well just be the scale.
Yeah, because either the hover or the scale can get you the boomerang, so it's not for that. That would be our Song of Storms being at path. And hey, that is
Oh, there's the bow.
Okay. It's not scale to get to the rain because the hovers also allow you to do it. Bow on Bigaron. Wow, that's a big pull.
That's a big one. If you lose those eye drops, that is miserable.
That also means that bow is behind getting access to the letter.
What?
That bow is behind getting access to the letter. Because we didn't get... Because we had...
Locked. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, we had access to Praetor to turn in the letter, but... Or turn in eye drops. But the eye drops were bomb locked in field. Or hammer.
The eye drops are also not considered in logic to get that bow until you have Ruto's letter. Because you can fail... Yeah, because you can fail and have to do KD.
You're right.
Yeah. Mostly when I say put those back, I never like seeing eye drops before I have an idea of what my eye drop item is, because it feels like if there's nothing on it, you mess up your routing for nothing. And if you're not willing to, just go for it and mess up your routing, who knows?
Darunia is a wallet.
Yeah. Well, that means that you would need another another wallet or fire temple or Goron tunic for that for fire temple even be relevant because of the location of Ocarina of Time.
Yeah, exactly. Saria's being on OoT and Shadow being inherently bomb blocked. That's nothing.
Yeah. Nice hookshot extension there. I have a weird amount of trouble with that, so I do a jump slash into the boulder.
Ryu
You know what I
also...
don't like in Hyper? That bomb count.
Yeah, that's a little rough.
Yeah, you've got to hope for a kind Armos today.
Mm-hmm.
Fortunately, since he does have the bow, this isn't as slow as it could be.
Mm-hmm.
And here's Ryo getting that widow's letter.
I mean, I know you said you don't go into fire since those are keys.
If you had Bolero, I'd go in. Like,
yeah,
I
that's
still
the
think it's
tricky
high
thing.
priority, but
Well, I'm just wondering, what if that's our bomb bag
possible.
in that first check-in fire?
Yeah, it's basically the first check in fire or someplace in that first crater, the second room. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, unfortunately, like, without Bolero, none of them have enough parts, really, to make
Get that
out.
Yeah. It's basically, if you were going to do that, I'd want to do it at the end of my adult route.
Yeah.
And Ryu's lucking into that bow.
Yep.
Yeah, this will be interesting to see if there's another bow out there, or...
Yeah. I think this is one of those few times where, like, the seed has given you just little enough that you do push turning in that check even without the information.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's reasonable. Also, if you're already planning on going there and you have Prelude, you don't have as much incentive to do a save quit.
Yep.
Hyper, that was a bomb drop. To be fair, that is the worst place for bomb drops because you're already walking out the door when you see them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Hyper is very lucky that there isn't a item in the chest on the bridge because he's got 2 bombs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the boomerang was in the river. Perhaps like bomb bag in forest or something?
That could be.
Yeah.
No.
No, that wouldn't make sense either.
Yeah, because that's behind letter as well.
Yeah. I'm just waiting for a hammer to show up at this rate. Just because so much stuff is, bomb locked and accessible. Most of the area we've been able to travel through is bomb locked.
Was that another bow?
I'm not sure. It could be.
It was a bow? Okay.
Mm-hmm. So that scales could be to get a bow.
Yep.
And a place we haven't discovered that has a lot of bow lock, we haven't really discovered that has a lot of bow lock checks, is everything in GTG and...
Which we have access to.
HBA, which we've had access to for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, that setup is what I typically do because I don't know why me and Post Extension just don't work there, but it's really consistent. I like it a lot. Good job, Ryukane, trying to save those extra frames shooting the bomb with an arrow. Typically, that's something you would absolutely want to do with a bomb flower, but you can save that teeny bit of time with shooting a bomb. And Hyper lucked out and did not waste any bombs and is safely through.
Yep. I call it picking up his aggro / bow.
Hells is going to... Hells is going to know that it's Minuet in Ice Cavern, isn't he? I think he has all the information he needs for that with having beaten DC.
Yeah. I totally missed that Hells picks up second magic in DC.
Yes.
Which
yeah, some his play to Valley is not paying off as much as it
Yeah, unfortunate.
But still, you always feel good having the... you always feel good having it earlier. You can't get too hung up on that stuff because you're not the spoiler log. I think we might see Hells go into Forest. Given what I know from his perspective, but... we'll find out.
Yeah, I mean, he did pick up Song of Time, like, intentionally went to pick up that song. Yeah. So it wouldn't be too surprising.
And he has all the information he needs to know that Ice Cavern can be path for Minuet, so it's probably worth doing as long as you're walking out here.
Yeah.
Because that's where you can past it.
So we can see adult shooting here. See what that holds for us.
No, we're not seeing it.
Ryu will be able to do Composer Grave Torches if he chooses.
Yeah, with those fire arrows.
Oh, and Ikola
Yeah, he goes
doing
on and gets
Valley.
magic, feel great, and then immediately go do DCF when he goes to Taltz.
Yeah.
There's a reason that after a certain point you may want to save Valley for adult.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunate Hells is going to be going to get Minuet in the end. It's like, oh, okay.
Or at least doing River just from up here. I don't know why you would skip a path location, but that's gonna feel kind of bad.
Yeah. It's like, oh, oops. To be fair, there are 3 items there that are live, and another thing that feels very bad is going, oh, I know it is, I need to get Minuet, and then there also being something right next to it that you need.
Oh, that's true, T.
It's true, we would also get the Fountain Fairy check. You get another bottle.
Yep. Alright. Hyper also gonna be in River here and probably doing Ice.
It's so nice doing that check in Logic, the lower River Heart piece. It's not like he can't do the setup, but you save so much time just hovering to it. Cole not checking any fountain hints is kind of an interesting choice.
He checked the one towards the ice entrance, but didn't have bombs to do the ferry anyway, so...
Makes sense.
Didn't go over there.
Oh, also didn't have Z. No, they would have had to have ZL. Hovers were ZL locked. They may not have the bombs.
Bo was on Big Goron, Kisinja, but we did see another one in Tektite Grotto.
Very nice KZ skip. Again, KZ skips there. It is a trick. Is a trick that has been established for so long that it is pre-standard routing. I like it. I think it does good things for the game.
Yeah, I think so too. You know, we mentioned it, banning it in season 6, I think it was, because the race mod / tourney orgs at the time thought that it kind of negatively was impacting the meta. Sequence break responsibly, folks.
Yeah.
In this case, it's not even, like, really a sequence break, but we are still missing some logic here.
Yeah, this is just a convenient little time save.
Yep.
Because you're already standing here, and you don't want to change ages and go back to do foolish Jabu until you have a clear idea of when you want to be places.
Yeah. Like, I would expect seeing it closer to, I have my long shot and either a gold scale or irons.
Yeah, I don't think you'd want to go to Jabu until you have completed Water Temple for sure.
Yeah, you're ready to go to Ganon's.
Oh yeah, Hyper will be able to do Blue Fire Arrow Ice, which is very convenient.
Mm-hmm.
Listen,
Gonna save a lot of time doing that.
It's a nice time save. It's very rare you actually get it. I'm happy about that. Yeah. It's always fun doing that.
Yep. This was
Also
one of
gives...
the...
Oh, sorry. Please.
Oh. This was one of those few things where it's like, I think this could have been a really nasty discussion. Do we have blue fire arrows or not? Because I know that it not being part of the, like, base game, that's a little tough sell, but it was one of those quality of life improvements that were like, it doesn't really impact the execution, routing, or logic that much, but it does add logic flavor.
Yes, you can get blue fire arrows required to do things like unfreeze King Zora.
Mm-hmm. Hey!
And you can also pull off some interesting tricks with it too, so.
So if we find bombs in another scale or iron...
You're right. Wait a minute.
Blue fire arrows could be our King Zora logic.
Wait, no. The reason we need King Zora is to get the bow.
Yeah, but there's another bow available.
Yeah, but we don't need the second bow.
But
what you're saying is that can King Zora have anything?
Alternative bow.
He doesn't have anything.
But we have seen a second bow in Tektite that we may or may not have access to.
But what I'm saying is that it doesn't matter at that point.
True.
Yeah, because you already have a bow.
Yeah, I'm just saying. It may be important, it may not.
It could have something to do with, like, our knowledge that that bow is not for the trade quest.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, happy 1 hour. Thanks everyone for coming along on this ride with us. We have Boldle Pass to Evil's Bane. We have a random, weirdly hinted bow. And we have some amazing commentators and trackers here. Hey, Carliana, Tumble Talk, Palm, and Baseball are our trackers, and I'm commenting here with Melpy.
Yeah, thanks, Jax. And thanks to these trackers, we announced this on Friday and put out a call, and I think all 4 of them had signed up within like 45 minutes of the ping happening, so I am taking that as a sign that people are excited for the next season to begin here.
I definitely hope that's something that people will have a little more excitement about this, because I know a lot of the response people had to S7 was, it's the same thing every time, I'm getting bored of it. To be fair, it's because there was a couple of the draft settings that were just much more popular. Like, not having to do 7 chickens.
A little swag. Little hover swag from Hell's there. Oh no.
Yeah, because I think that, you know what I mean though, Inko, the fact that people are tuning in like, well, the flavor should be that we have different things going on, and it's the same thing. In this case, it's like, expectations are expectations. We expect the same thing, we get the same thing. Yeah. And I mean, that's why Ryukane was our S6 champion, because he skips KZ so fast you don't even see it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Ryu and Hell's actually back for a second year in a row doing an exhibition race, so nice to have both of them. Great to have Ikola and Hyper here as well.
Yeah, I'm very glad that we have all these players who are just willing to put in their time to show this off.
Yep. And I suppose we should also shout out Pappy Grant and Barbu, who are over on Pappy Grant's channel, restreaming this in French.
Yes. Yeah, Halsey's the first in the forest, but he does not have, he's the only one without a bow, so that'll be interesting.
Hey, there's a command. Let's go. Barbu also on the tourney org team. Ryu also getting to take advantage of those blue fire arrows.
Yeah, thank you to our runners for actually showing off the advantages of the blue fire arrows. Again, it's nice seeing the blue arrows have something to do other than make Bongo do funny animations.
Right. I think I heard that one of their intentions was also, well, that wouldn't make sense. Oh, there's
okay, there's our light arrows. Path Evil's Bane done. But yeah, that's... There we go, we have our light arrows now.
So what... I'm sorry, I'm trying to work through the Colossus thing now.
Yeah, so Colossus got us into the well. We still don't know what's going on with that. I'm assuming it's the scale to turn in... I'm assuming it's the scale to turn in the ladder, which means this may be something relevant. Well, that's Hyper doing it. Is something relevant, of course.
The scale could just be for no domain's foolish.
Yeah. Again, it could be turning the ladder to get minuet, and there's something else relevant here, yeah.
Frogs 1.
Frogs 1? We have not seen Frogs 1 because that check is annoying. Technical term.
Yeah. We have a lot of GTG available, you've said.
A lot of GTG available now. Again, everyone but Hells has a lot of incentive to go there with all the bow lock checks and really deep bow. If you were doing one-on-one, you might consider rushing that.
Yeah.
And you see Hyper is just going to go push progression right now.
Yeah, I don't hate this, partially because it does get him to do Frogs 1, probably.
He's not going the direction of Frogs 1, though.
But after Jabu, like, it's easy enough to jump down and do that.
Yeah. Oh, wait. What was that? That was just a red ruby, right?
Yeah, it was just money.
I had a moment of what... Why are you split flowing effects didn't fire? No. But yeah, you never do Frogs 1 after Jabu, and that's the thing. Like, you have to... With all of those items in the well, it's a little bit of a hard sell to go for that. But the well items are really confusing, so, I don't know.
Yeah. It partially just depends, right? Like, how much stock do you want to put into that now that you have found your light arrows, for example?
Yeah, and you see that Hyper left immediately after finding light arrows. And again, I do kind of feel like there might be something behind that bow in Forest, but for right now, that's not in logic, so... And you can get back there fast, so it's not a bad idea just to get out.
Yep. And Hells is reversing.
I like
without
this.
a bow. That is going to
Without a bow is the less nice part, but
hurt a lot.
who's winning S8 so far? I think the path hints. So everyone just feel free to ignore Hyper until he gets to Baronade.
Yep.
There'll be no items, and everything that isn't Baronade isn't very interesting here.
That's true. People who didn't like draft settings are winning.
Yeah, the draft settings were definitely something where a lot of people responded. Some people liked it, but even then, people who liked it a lot were less. They put a lot fewer words in their responses than the people who did not like it. So people felt much more strongly against it than for it, on top of it being wonderful.
And even some of the ones who did like it, they were like, I don't know if it's right for this tournament.
Yeah, and I think that there's definitely value in having a draft tournament, but I think that having it not be the senior tournament and having it be a little more, I don't know, a little more out there with the draft options, yeah, sounds good to me. Like,
Right. Ryu also looking like he's going to reverse.
yeah, it seems like about the right time from his perspective.
Yeah.
Now, see, this is the real setting plan here. We need to have it be saws, so have a constant setting, so saws can have a constant setting. Saws being the standard anti-weekly settings, which are I know Malfoy is a fan of.
I do enjoy them.
It is essentially just every check that you don't have to do in the standard season check are on, and every check that you do have to do in standard season are off. I look forward to see what Fennel comes up with here.
No, Fennel, no.
Ooh, we do have a big chest in the center of GTG.
Yeah.
And I don't see a key up top, so I guess we aren't necessarily... There's a chance. I'm saying there's a chance.
Telling me there's a chance.
Because you would need literally 6 keys to get there, as far as I can tell.
Yeah, there was definitely one right by it.
Yeah. There are 6 checks you can get to without anything else. Okay, no, I can't. No, you can't. Dude, if we could have custom bridge combos, Chuckles and I would have to talk about what we want to do for Pride % next year.
Oh, Ryu is showing off picking up this skull with a ground jump.
Ooh. That's kind of aggressive, but sure.
Nice. 18. Alright.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah, that was
thanks,
a very
Thunder.
nice looking ground jump. Yeah, thank you for this. Thank you, Thunder. It's good to see you. You'll be happy to know the well has had a lot of items this seed.
But rushing well was not necessarily the answer, because you definitely wanted ZL when you went in there. Oh, strength?
What is this?
Oh, no
Never
way.
Never punished.
So, I know Hells does not like this meme, but I am going to say it. The plot armor.
To be fair, everyone else got plot armor on the magic.
It's true. It's true. The magic plot armor kind of.
He just got redeemed for. He just got redeemed for getting that magic in Valley early and then finding it on top of Dodongo.
Yeah, I think so. He made that call to go Valley. He deserved that magic to be the big thing that it ended up not being.
Yeah. And yes, this was correctly pointed out that center chest is behind toilet because there is a key hinted in toilet, which is my favorite thing in the world, honestly. But do we care? Do we really care? Oh, hi.
Hey, okay. That has been available. So that bomb bag is in play.
Is it? I thought we worked out that there was a bomb-locked key elsewhere in...
Oh, yeah. You're right.
I think we worked that out.
Because the basement's just key 2. You're right.
Honestly, Stone Shadow finding a way? We could be looking at our bomb bag in Shadow at this rate, right? No, wait, no. Nocturne is behind... Wait, where was Nocturne?
Nocturne was in Crater, but it's...
Yeah, so...
It's free.
Yeah.
And by free, I mean available without bombs.
Our first bomb bag could easily be in Shadow Temple.
Yeah, the first 4 checks of Shadow Temple are not bomb locked.
Sure, thanks, game.
The hovers would be available to get across the gap, so you don't need a hook shot. Yeah?
Yeah. I was about to respond, and then we have a setting string. Yay!
Yay!
Oh, we can pay attention to Hyper again. I love this boss. Okay, missed one of the little hangers-on, but recovered nicely.
Mm-hmm.
Oof. You can drilling that target. For whatever reason, I've been struggling with my HBA recently. So it's always fun seeing people do that so fast.
Mm-hmm.
And get that Goron tunic that we could need for going into Fire Temple for reasons. I don't know. Oh, hey, that was the best Foolish Drabu. Big Ron sword on marinade.
Nice. Yeah, I mean...
Tells didn't quite have enough keys, apparently.
No.
1 key short. Alright.
And
so
no
that was
strength 2 yet.
Yeah. Are BFA's logical access to behind mud walls?
No.
They are not. That is still considered a trick.
Yep.
You can't do it.
Accident. Unintended mechanic.
Basically, we don't want to have it be in logic to buy 300 rupee blue fire again and again to get through Danagu's Cavern.
Yeah.
That's basically it.
Yeah, exactly. An intended random mechanic that just so happens to be an unintended vanilla mechanic.
Yes. I'm gonna step away for a second. I'll be right back.
Alright. Yeah, I mean, I think you can just roll a seed and check that box. I'm pretty sure that that's in the trick list. Hel's able to come back and do these checks now with a little bit of fire. Ikola has also turned in 10, so has those regular fire arrows.
All right.
We've got a lot of kind of backtracking the runners are doing.
Yeah, they're kind of going over each other's tracks right now.
Yeah, it has me a little concerned that the end is just gonna be everyone doing the same thing and it's just straight up an execution race.
Yeah. I mean, if you won execution race, you've got some good people for it.
Yeah.
We all know Ikola, Ryukainen, what the hell is prowess. And Hyper did win the Battle Royale tournament. He can hold his own not dying and executing and not dying.
Shooting anything with a bow being held as one. Harnish on his
shooting things is not easy. It's
otherwise near flawless execution.
Yes, and Thunder Lights can be hinted path now.
Yeah.
Because we do need it to enter Ganon's castle.
Alright, where are we going? We're going to Lake. Oh, Hell still has not done Southfield.
Yeah, Southfield would be a... Wait.
Shoot the sun?
Oh, he's... Not Shoot the Sun. Lake is foolish, isn't it? Is he setting time of day for a child play?
Oh, yeah. That would make sense. Get
That's
Jabu
probably
out
the
of the
easiest
way.
spot to do it.
Mm-hmm. When will Ryu pick up that hook shot? That's a very good question.
Yeah, that is a great question.
We have all of our paths, right?
We do have all of our paths, I believe.
Okay.
Sheesh, Ikola and Hyper both just showing off there.
Okay.
Very good.
We do have all the paths. Great. Thank you.
Yeah, the only one I don't really get the bottom of the wild barony. This is fascinating to me right now.
Yeah, I'm kind of leaning towards that scale for Frogs 1 at this point. Between the mixture of our path to Baronade and our path to Evil's Bane.
Yeah, or it's just in the first 4 checks to Shadow, which we'll be seeing very shortly.
Yep, could be here. Hovers are in play.
So Hell's is taking the child cleanup route. Ikola is taking the hit up a stone dungeon route.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I'm not unhappy about that from what we've been discussing.
Mm-hmm.
We can just check the first 4 of Shadow and see if that confirms your path.
Yep.
Stone Forest does feel like a solid play, in my opinion. Oddly enough. Yeah. Ryukane's gonna show us gonna be in Shadow as well, so.
Have we seen the Wolfos Grotto yet?
Yes, that was nothing important.
Okay. Because the thing is that Minuet is not solely for Forest Temple. It's anything that's behind Mido, which includes the hook shot currently. But then we would find a hammer instead of a bomb bag.
Yes.
Either way satisfies that.
Mm-hmm. And no smoking gun in the first few checks.
I see what's going on here. Hells is not going to be burned by Child Goron City today. Or maybe.
Honestly. Child Goron City, when you're doing child cleanup, if you don't do it when you're in the middle of your child cleanup, when do you do it? He can do 2 checks here.
He can do 2 checks.
Thank you.
Oh, Pot is
dead.
hinted
Thank
dead.
you.
Oh yeah, and Darunia is hinted a wallet, though we don't care about that anyway. Heart piece. There could also be... I mean, we could find a strength 2 in here.
That would get us into Spirit.
Spirit.
Yeah, 1 check to open that up. Let's see if we're looking at there. I don't see big chest there. That looks like a key. Ooh, Frog's 1 from What the Hells. Perhaps.
Oh,
Yeah.
Let's go.
Again, these always feel slow, but when you've committed child cleanup, commit.
Yeah, exactly. Aw. It's a little short. You will face your frog audience. Thank you.
Mhm.
Ryukane also opting to do Shadow.
It's a lot of checks. The hovers are
That's
Happy.
arrow. Oh, I thought you could. Maybe not. Not Frogs 1, so now we're back at Fire. That first check in Fire.
first check in Fire, further into Forest. Because Hyper did have the light arrows and Hells didn't have the bow.
20 is also available, but 20...
I think Ryu's the only one collecting.
Yeah,
Aggressive enough to get 20 around now.
20 does not fit very well with the logic that we've seen, unless it ends up being a hammer, I think.
Yeah. The bottom chest well with strength is in logic if you have
3 keys.
Din's Fire available.
Or Din's Fire, yeah.
There's Gold Scale, so there's that other bow.
Yeah. Behind bombs still, but...
Yeah, you need long shot to be able to make any real progress into water with just your Gold Scale.
Yeah. You can get in, so it's hopeful in Dungeon Entrance Randomizer. But we don't have that.
Yep. Okay, just hit me up for a DER fun run sometime. It'll be good.
Yep. Hyper looks like he's probably going to be peeking these valley checks.
Yeah, that's probably about the time you'd want to do it. Yeah, I don't see any, that peak is actually coming in so fast because the gold chest just peeks out.
I will be right back.
Yeah, no problem. I will hold down the fort. Honestly, Thunder, we don't know. We are trying to figure out what it means that our path to Baronade is the hover boots or the scale. Because we found a bomb bag in well as well, also, but it was out of logic. It might be for Rio this raid. That's true, Girl Bomber. Yeah, this does mean that if that Ecola's going to be able to go further in Shadow. Everyone's following Stone Shadow. This is really interesting. I mean, I like Shadow Temple, but after the first 4, this feels less good after the first 4 checks. Now, of course, there'll just be something deep in here because it can be deep in here. There's no reason it can't be. But, yeah, Lab Dive would be interesting if you had non-Foolish Lake. But we have Epona. Epona was pretty early. That's how we got our Doom's Fire. Again, I really want to see more of Forest, personally.
I'm back. Hyper also doing Shadow.
Yeah, everyone's like, Stone Shadow is the hot place to be, apparently.
Interesting.
The ban on Shadow has not been lifted. It was under testing for a few weeks. There wasn't a ton of take-up on that testing, so the testing process will be revisited soon, I think.
It is going through yesterday, so it's done as of today.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised to see another testing period sometime later in a few months, but...
Yeah.
Oh, all 3 keys in the wall are accessible without Mombad? So that is... Okay, thank you, Mario.
Oh,
Then that makes things make sense.
Thanks, Mario. That makes a lot more sense now.
Yeah, because that puts... Bottom chest was a key, but we had access to Din's Fire and a strength upgrade.
And a strength, yep. That's just so odd that none of them being Ikola and Ryu, who went to Well
they had a
Lullaby.
They went without Lullaby. They didn't have Din's Fire, so they couldn't get the one in the basement.
Oh, 2 were ZL locked. That makes sense. Okay.
Thanks, Mario. That makes everything make sense. So it's most likely the bombs, then.
Yep.
Given what we know.
Yep.
Bombs for Ruto's letter, and that makes everything hang together nicely.
Yep.
So yeah, then I guess Forest is not as interesting. But it can still be interesting. I don't know.
Well, what was the... Ice was to... Oh, Evil's Bane.
Evil's Bane.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, but we were under the impression that you needed, like, something weird out of Well to get to Bomb Bag until we had keys confirmed.
Yeah.
Now, like, I think Forest is probably more interesting, because I think the back Forest is... There's a ton of stuff there, and there's lots of, there's no reason it couldn't have a long shot in it.
Yeah, Forest could still have long shot. Especially as far as, like, that, you know, Category 1 versus Category 2. Evil's Bane is on that same level with Morpha, where long shot would be. So it can steal that item.
Exactly. Ooh, we're gonna box skip.
Nice.
Shouldn't be that surprise.
Ryu picks up a big Poe. I don't know when he's gonna think of that grotto in Lost Woods.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Perhaps if he does a child cleanup.
Mm-hmm. Playing Bolero.
Yeah, assuming there's nothing on Bongo, which is an assumption, I know. Ooh, we got Rio going into fire. He'll get kicked. He'll either get it or get kicked out fast.
Yeah.
So I don't hate it.
We know that there's 2 keys in that boss key hammer loop in the right there. Oh, so if this is not a key, this is a quick trip.
This is a fast. At any rate, this is gonna be some fast checks.
Yep. Oh, it's a key. We can.
You can check 2 more. And we do have that, fire tunic, Goron tunic. So this going past here is in logic. Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking about what the items are and not remember what their names are, apparently.
All I can hear, I've been hearing someone yell croissant while playing a different Zelda game for the last few days, and so that's all I'm thinking about with
Nice.
the boomerang now.
You know what? Yeah. The boomerang is not a banana anymore, it's croissant. We are having representation for the French side of the community.
Alright, we will not be able to climb. We'll see if this is a key or if both of those in the loop are the only keys that we have. Okay.
Yep, so nothing of any relevance in fire yet.
Oh no.
Oh no, I don't like that. Put that back.
Yeah, get rid of it. Put that thing back where it came from.
Well, looks like Kells is doing the same thing.
Ooh. It's Oops AD.
To be fair, do we have any hints about Skull Kid?
No. We do not.
We could need Saria's song for Skull Kid.
We could need Saria's song for Skull Kid. We will see if Hells decides to full clear Shadow. I mean, they're kind of locked out though, out of a lot of things. So it.
Yeah,
I
it's
suppose
that
we're.
Is this or fire? Is this or forest?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Tobias, there was one item of any real relevance in Shadow Temple.
Mm-hmm.
Bongo has the hammer.
Yeah.
And we just saw Ryu show us that we're locked out of fire without the hammer.
Yeah, so we need that.
You could say we're starting S8 off with a bonk.
Bongo. Alright, there's that hook shot for Ryu. Let's see. Alright, Ryu's gonna go into forest, it looks like.
You don't see their, So Ryu's the only one here who has a paste him. Hi.
Less. It's just irons there.
Iron. Oh my god.
Okay, so
the path to Morpha was the hover boots.
Yep.
So that means that we have a long shot in Spirit. Or, just a, just a Zora tunic bad end.
Yeah, it could be a tunic still.
In that case, I don't really mind this. There's a path to Morpha in well as well. So the odds there being a long shot in water isn't incredible. It would have to mean there's a Zora tunic in Spirit.
Yeah, long shot should be in Spirit, but there's no reason that our strength 2 to get into Spirit isn't here.
I thought there being more than one anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But carry on. Yeah, we've not found anything Child Spirit. We got ourselves locked out of Child Spirit.
Yep. But yeah, I mean, water is at least
in a way it's progression.
Yeah. I think once you hit that boat in Shadow, you start wondering, have I done all of this for nothing? Oh my gosh, this is so much time. So to find that hammer and then to find the irons behind it, that feels good, but you're still feeling like I want to get into a progression dungeon.
Yeah. This is actually extremely bad for Ryukane, actually.
Yeah,
You are not likely to want to go back into Shadow.
Yeah, exactly. Ryu didn't have a hook shot, couldn't, get up into the wind tunnel room. So we'll see how long it is before he heads back.
Yeah, Ryu is... Because, like, when you have Olive Forest to do, if there's something here that gives you direction.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no.
Oh.
You know what? Good job. You're just doing the thing. Good job, Ryukane.
We're doing the thing.
You would rather go back and walk through a Shadow Temple than go through back a forest, and you know what? You're valid. Because both of them are just long, fairly linear dungeons, but at least there's more interesting execution in Shadow.
And I believe we did get a hint that the boss key chest in water is dead, so...
That's something at least.
A little time save.
Yeah, is it dead or is it a key?
I think it was dead.
That's actually extremely interesting going in here without all of your kit then. Because that means that you have 3 items in here.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, I really enjoy playing with key rings. But someone in chat said keyring for Water Temple when. I really enjoy it, but it can be very messy logically.
It can be very messy logically, and also having keys in Water Temple is probably the best thing for routing ever.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to do all of water. If you understand your key logic, you can skip half water every time.
Yep. It's also just kind of...
Hard. Was that a key?
I did not see. I know it was a small chest, though.
It was small, but I thought it might have been a key.
Chat, anyone happen to see gilding on there?
Anyone have, X-ray specs on?
Alright, Hyper about to also feel very vindicated with that hammer. Delayed vindication. Like, okay, at least it's an item and a major item, but...
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but do you want to have the hammer? Do you want it? I mean, you need it, but...
Yeah, no.
Like, game that item of all of them? Track by sound, track by vibes. Listen, I don't know how to...
Being good at tracking, like, hits a point where you have diminishing returns, because once you're a super great tracker, you start getting comfortable, like, oh, I know how long X thing takes, I can go do, whatever while that's happening, and then suddenly you're like, I know they picked this up, I didn't hit the button. Yeah. Oh, they finished a dungeon 10 minutes ago? Yeah.
Good job, them. I'm proud of them.
Good job.
Listen, on speed gaming, where I'm commentating for Crystal, you have to calm and track at the same time, and it's just like... I feel like I'm trying to, balance plates on my head.
Yeah.
All the respected trackers. Oh yeah, can we just talk about how I know Ecola doesn't have the boss key right now because...
It's not on the screen?
Yeah, we now have the hut have a UI for it. You know how happy that makes me? Because I have...
Yeah, to me
I have
that's...
two brain cells to rub together sometimes.
that is one of those things where I'm like, there is a part of me that's like, not because I am resistant to change, but I don't think that that should be a crutch in competitive racing. Like, all for it being there. I very much enjoy having it when I'm playing casually. But it's just one of those kind of nitpicky, like,
Yeah.
no. Remember if you have the boss key, or, you know, go to the boss door and forget.
Yeah, see, Hyper and I would be like, yeah, this is an adaptation for us because both of us cannot remember anything because we both have terrible ADHD. Yeah, River BK. That doesn't. So we have the BK. That's great.
Mhm.
Ooh, we got Nicola is heading into Forest Over Fire. Yeah, the fourth piece of the Triforce, not forgetting random shit. The fifth piece of the Triforce is mentality. Just like having a good competitive mentality and not getting like long-term tilted. Hyper did not bail on Shadow. Hyper has the hammer. I think he's just hoping he doesn't need the hammer there, but...
Yeah, that would be a very interesting hope to have.
Yeah, I think I would have. As long as I was going, I think I would have gone through the loop first.
Yeah. Like, I get it.
It's
hinted
the
to
hammer.
Smokies.
It's not being nice to you. Accept it. This is not the good end. This is not the good timeline. If you were had to go all the way through Stone Shadow to go into Stonefire.
Mm-hmm. That would be funny if we had like a soundboard thing that just said it was Navi going, "Hey, listen," if we needed the trackers to update something.
Yeah. Yeah, hammer is absolutely required. Just you don't know that yet.
Yeah. One of the like some background info for those of you who are unfamiliar how this works, because as I am staring at our layout, I don't know if the trackers are up to date when it's for runners because I can't see the trackers.
Yeah, we
without pulling them up.
We see the personal trackers.
Yeah, we see their personal trackers, but I have no idea if the actual restream is up to date without pulling those up. Sorry, what? Rob Dog?
Rob, you're getting ahead of yourself a little bit with the scale. Frankly, you would have to do Shadow for either scale or hammer to get irons, but the scale is not useful yet.
Yeah. Super on top tracker. And then you have other people who just like start marking dungeons as soon as they have all of the items. I can do this dungeon now. That's not helpful.
Yeah. Oh no, I need my to-do list, but I will basically, if I have everything, I'm in the dungeon and there's a little cutscene or something where I have a little time, I mark it then.
Yeah.
It's like, it's close enough.
At least you're like in the dungeon.
Yeah.
Because some people will be like, I found hammer, I can go do fire, mark it done.
Oop.
Big chest. Strength locked.
Yeah, big chest, strength locked, okay. Oh yeah, some amount of Shadow is definitely required, that is true. Completing Shadow, we don't know. I'm guessing we do. Yeah, logically all is required, however. We all know. My artistic expression about Iron Boots. 20 is dead. The 10 being fire arrows is, I guess, interesting. Ooh, there's something else here in fire.
Strength
Like
2.
our strength.
Okay.
Okay.
And it's a
strength
big
plus strength.
chest. Hyper gonna take advantage of those hovers.
Ooh,
and
very
skip that
nice.
sequence. Yeah. Yeah.
Honestly, that's slick.
Mm-hmm.
And he can peek this chest right from over here, probably. If he can, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hyper needs to not leave crater before checking the ferry. Yeah, that's true. But what is this route, Hyper?
I'm not sure.
Like, what, didn't you see a big chest in the shortcut?
Yeah, he set down a bomb to open the shortcut.
Yes. And he still hasn't gone there. Is he gonna just go back around?
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure because it looked like another small key in the bow lock checking. Oh, I guess he's going back. I suppose this
Is he
is
really going
probably...
to... Okay. If you hit this the first try, it's faster, I'm sure.
Yeah, I was just thinking, like, it's probably technically faster to do it this way rather than climbing back up.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a niche trick. It's really cool when you can pull it off.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Ryu, picking up that hammer, also checked Crater Ferry and is gonna go do water. Looks like Ikola is deciding to do more progression dungeon.
Oh, so yeah.
Go do
Here from
Javelin.
go. Okay, betting time. Okay. Where is our go mode from here? We know where it's likely to be.
I mean,
You know what? Just for shits and giggles.
Market is not dead.
Ooh, I like the way you think.
But, Tomo, you should know, we do have IGC back to Twin Rova. Lens can be in there.
Yep. Is there any way it's not in the lens? Yeah, the lens.
Basically, lens, yeah. And all of our runners do have light arrows, so once they find long shot, they'll be able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
We're expecting it to be here in spirit, so it looks like Hyper is gonna probably be the first one in there.
Mm-hmm.
OGC Fairy is hinted bomb choose.
Yeah, if Hyper is lucky, and well, he is actually. If he gets his long shot here, he's fine. He has gold scale, right?
Yeah.
And it's a gold scalable water.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't know he's okay yet, but he will be. Yes, the fairy hint being there, I think I did the math and it's like roughly like 30% chance of you getting it at some point. So, like, okay, you got a 30% chance of not having to deal with Hyrule Castle Fairy being Hyrule Castle Fairy.
The duels are 13.
13? I thought it was... Anyway. I thought each one was 13. Yeah, Strength 2 wasn't Fire Temple, so that hammer is really needed. Yeah, oddly hinted path is Strength 2. That's a word for it, right? Oddly hinted. Because, yeah, it was pretty straightforward, honestly. Like, you get your hovers, you go get your hammer, you go get go into fire, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nice and easy. So is this our long shot here? Because Hyper will be in go. He doesn't know yet, but he will be in... Well, okay, nope. Mod it not being in light trial, Hyper will be in go.
I think Hells probably ends up getting that bow, because he's likely to do a crater loop anyway. We'll pick up those irons. We'll see if he goes into fire. Alright, yep, there's long shot.
There's a long shot.
Hyper gonna keep going because we have to do this dungeon anyway.
Yep, we still need a boss key. Okay, game.
Hey, they were both here all along.
All along. That's really funny. And we'll see Hyper doing water in the correct way.
Mm-hmm. Alright. Hell's picked up those irons and is just gonna go into water.
It's not a terrible idea. It's not actually going to take him more or less time. Like, it's a warp. Yeah. Then you have to think about what he's doing next.
Yep. Yeah, that's one of the kind of nice things is... Like, if you can't beat water, your options are the exact same.
Mm-hmm. And there's no reason there can't be a strength upgrade here, right?
Yeah, in their perspective, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Once you clear it, of course, we know things, but... Well, you're trying to decide whether you're going to go in or not.
Yep.
Yeah, I do find it interesting that Hyper chose to go fire over doing the crater first. That's something where you saw everyone else go for the crater fairy first. And that's something where I think that would have been my choice as well, because I would have been thinking, maybe it's just crater fairy, and then that's one check, and if it isn't, then I still have to do the same thing.
Yep.
So, like, if you're thinking about things truly, like, min-maxing your time and expectation values and stuff, maybe he did the wrong thing, but in this case, it was very much right.
Yep.
Yeah, Longshot was in the lobby of Spirit Temple on the hand of the statue. So you do need a strength 2 to get that. Looks like Ryukane will be our next person to it.
This seed is awful.
Yeah, this seed is special. I'll say that. And I don't think that... I think that any seed that involves you having to go deep to the end of Shadow Temple on kind of thin hints to get a hammer for stone fire.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the generator having fun.
Yep.
Yeah, you heard me say that right as you walked in and asked the question, didn't you?
It's a classic.
It is. Hmm. Yeah, we knew where we need to go in the end. Yeah, there's no reason we don't have a logically retired toilet. Just thinking about it. We do have that big chest at the center of GTG, if that's strength 3.
True.
You don't have to do it, practically, but logically you do. Ooh, I actually kind of like... No, never mind. Wouldn't have any logical indications, though. Okay, another Baronade fight down. Best part of that entire dungeon.
I hate Jabu.
I hate Jabu. I love Baronade. Like, the Baronade fight is really fun. Like, legitimately, like, Baronade is on the top half of the technical skill required for these bosses.
What's the
It's the only really difficult child fight.
Trying to think of exactly how bad IGC chain could be. And I don't think it can get much.
We've done so much of the game, we've access to so much of the game.
Yeah. Well, I was like, could it be... No. Like, strength 3 in Ganon. No.
Strength 3 isn't even that bad, because then it's walk over to Light Trial, get whatever you need there.
For Len.
Even that was, very, very precise. I think at this point, the worst thing possible is a strength 3 outside of Ganon's castle.
Yeah.
Yeah, the sometimes jump and bomb drop. Yeah, so Ryukane is our...
Are you also doing it? Let's go!
Yeah, I think he just doesn't want to leave that big chest just in case it is strength 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ryu being last to hookshot and second to strength 2 is showing, once again, calm down. Yes, it took you forever to get your hookshot. How much of the world did you do when you didn't have the hookshot?
Yep.
Yeah, this is a required double dip of spirit. At least spirit's not the worst dungeon double dip.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, Hyper getting the quick grab of Morpha. I just need to finish it off. Perfect.
Yeah. I would say the only thing... We don't have Furor's Wind. So this is probably one of the few scenarios that I would consider opening the spirit shortcut.
It's not that long just to walk back up.
I hate walking back up. You gotta roll past the thing, then climb up, then get in there. Oh, I hate it.
Okay. So Hyper will be the first into Ganon's castle. Very strong position right now.
Yeah. I think Hyper has a comfortable lead, barring a strength 3 hunt, and even then...
Barring a strength 3 hunt, he's in an incredible position.
Yeah.
Because Ryu does not even have Jabu done.
Yep. Ikola, though, who does have it done, is in fire now.
Yeah, he's heading
and
toward...
Hell's not far behind.
Yeah. Oh yeah, just a spare bottle for the Ganon fight. Awesome.
Yeah.
So convenient.
All the bottles.
Yep, that is bottle percent. See, just being like, here, have another bottle. We got to see everything this seed, and I mean everything. 2 hard required side dungeons. 2 hard required stone dungeons. Well, 3 hard required stone dungeons.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to go sift through Ganon's castle. Yeah, Phantom Ganon stays undefeated, you know, unless he could still be on Skullkid.
It could still be on Skullkid. Or
There you go.
there.
It's a spirit trial too. Huh. That makes sense.
Spirit trial too. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, GG. That is a... Yeah, Hyper is assuming nothing happens.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say
Yeah.
this is the opposite of boring path because of what it took to get there. And that's actually... We knew at that point that because the path prioritization, the hint to IGC Twinrova, we knew from the beginning that that had to be... you had to either be your Mirror Shield or one more step to Mirror Shield.
Hey, let's go. Palm 5, getting it right.
Well, that wasn't right. It's Shadow Trials, I can just.
Oh. Okay, close enough.
You should be seeing Strength 2 extremely shortly here, Schultzer, from Ecola in the Fire Lower Maze. Alright, so that is go for Ecola. Well, we've got just off go. No, I guess.
Hmm?
Yeah. Oh!
Oh!
Did I say
Alright.
something barring something disastrous happening?
And this is why I would open the shortcut.
Yeah, same, Hyper, same. Because the thing is, I say, like, my, like, line for stopping collecting, parts is 5 because I can take a hit from an Iron Knuckle. That doesn't help if you're not over 5.
Yep.
Ryukane's gonna go take care of Jabu now, and then go get the Mirror Shield on his way back. That makes sense.
Yep. Yeah, this is probably one of the more unfortunate, like, item distributions. Like, of course, Longshot had to be in spirit. Like,
Yep. I also find it interesting that Hyper is not going for that mirror lock check first.
mm-hmm.
Again, the kind of like prioritization of time thing.
Right.
Because
Well, in
you
this
wouldn't be
case-
fighting this if it was there.
Yeah, and in this case, a lot of people would even risk going up
Right.
doing those 2 checks.
Exactly. because there is another small key around here somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
There's another small key around here. Oh, there's the boss key.
And there's our boss.
Good thing we have that long shot. It's convenient.
Yeah, very convenient.
Alright, so Hells and Cola are like right on each other's tails here.
Yeah.
I think that Hyper is probably going to finish nice and cleanly in first. And everyone else is going to be really close.
Yeah, I think Ryu is probably... What? Yeah, I think Ryu's probably kind of going to finish last here. Gomo Jabu is not...
Jomo Jabu is still
It's
Jabu.
Jabu. Especially, like, it was a foolish Jabu anyway, so they weren't doing those extra rooms.
Yep.
Yeah, Tobias.
Suspicious, Manoa. Like, this entire thing is down to Hyper's decision to do fire over doing the fountain first.
Mm-hmm.
And again, like, I think that is a play you make if you are making a play.
Yeah.
If you think that you are disadvantaged compared to people, it's like, well, why don't I do the less desirable thing first and see if I cash out? And he did.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And he also recognized that, he had a 90% chance of finishing Water Temple. So he did.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I think that's one of the things that really distinguishes Hyper. Again, from he's good at the game. He is also a little more mentally capable of taking risks. Like, he is able to just take actual risks in the game, and sometimes it works out for you.
Mm-hmm.
And again, 90% odds are just not too good not to take. Yeah, you know my feelings about this. I guess that also makes me colluding in this because the winning player our first S8 rates did Iron Boots DLC. You don't need the Iron Boots. They make you slow. That is an awkward location, Rova. Rova's put up a little bit of a fight here today, but
Yeah.
Hyper's been handling it.
Long shot for Hells as well. Just like Icola has done water, so should be quick.
Yep. Hop in, grab Morpha, get out.
Meanwhile, Ryu at the last tentacle in Jabu.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just baseball bringing up the big key indicator again. I just want to make it clear. I don't necessarily not remember that. Need to remember where my key is. Excuse me. I need it so I feel extra silly when I try to open the boss door. I also don't hate Cola starting with the tower climb because you need to do this fights anyway.
Yeah, that's an interesting choice. And one that could ultimately cost him. I was thinking this. I'm like, you typically would always start with spirit, but if you don't have gold, like going the forest side and around can feel better.
No, I don't like that. I don't like walking up there and not just finishing the fights. You're already in that room. Just finish off the Stalfos. You can save the Iron Knuckles for later. Alright, so we're gonna have Hel's entering Gan's castle not all that long after Hyper does here, but the difference is Hyper's done.
Mm-hmm.
And again, we did not see any Path of the Hero because it is so rare for there to have a seed that doesn't require a bow or magic somewhere in it.
Yeah. And in this case, we very much saw magic was required.
Mm-hmm. Magic was highly required.
I suppose the bow was also...
All the bows are kind of equally... Are they all equally accessible? I think they are.
No, because the long shot was behind Hammer. Behind that strength.
What? The bows? The bows were on Big Goron in the Tech Grotto and in GTG.
I mean, I'm not saying it's a path bow.
Oh yeah, I'm just saying the bows were all equally accessible.
Yeah, but the bows, like, you needed a bow.
Yeah, you need that anyway.
Yeah.
Hal's going straight to Spirit. I love doing that fight with a Big Goron sword.
You want to know where Strength 3 is? I mean, it could be that big chest in GTG.
Yeah, I understand why I don't know if there was another path through the seed, because we saw the same path from everybody. If there's just a Strength 3 somewhere out there. Like, maybe deeper in Forest? Would be the only option, I guess. That would really give you enable a different path.
I don't know if this particular seed has a spoiler. But yeah, the tournament won't have spoiler log to unlock.
Yeah, that is an interesting thing. Again, they'd have to be deeper in Forest would be the answer. For that path to be possible. It's basically the only place we haven't seen. Because this seed already demanded a lot out of our runners. Yeah, I also agree, particularly with how weird the paths were earlier, and if you weren't counting keys appropriately and well, because if you weren't, things get weird.
Mm-hmm.
I do love that we had the required Din's Fire, both for getting our bomb bag and for getting our hammer.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of funny, because right at the start, when we had Epona's hinted, I was like, go pick up your bomb bag on Stalfos in GTG.
Right?
But it was a few extra steps.
It's like, you're absolutely correct. That's how it always ends up. Yeah, we are very close to done on Hyperside. I think one more stab to the tail? No, a few more. Two more, okay. Again, very impressive showing here. Again, this seed, all of these runners took this pretty difficult seed and are solving it very quickly. And I'm excited to see what everyone does with this string going forward, because this is very interesting.
Yeah, and like the time difference between everyone is not going to be that great, which we love.
Yeah, it's effectively going to be the difference between going to fire first or going to, and then the time lag it takes to go back into fire.
Yep.
And I think when you see that finish from Ecola and Hells, it's probably what you think. It's like a hyper dipped fire first.
Yeah, GG's Hyper.
Yeah.
Taking the first official S8 seed.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, Icola won't be too far behind. Hell's not too far behind him.
Ryokane will be, and then Ryokane will be bringing up the rear, but not by much.
Yep. Yeah, is doing that kind of unfortunate forest side first that I mentioned.
Yeah.
This is one of the things that, like, okay, technically there's more checks on that side.
Mm-hmm. It's true. A lot of people do Spirit, then go back and go up tower.
Mm-hmm.
And then do the rest so they can be done at Kira Chao Brow too. Oh,
Hey,
welcome back in, Hyper.
GG's.
Yo, GG's.
So we kind of already know your thoughts and opinions on the settings, but if you would like to share a little more with chat.
Yeah, that was kind of a strange seed. I got super lost in it, because my bomb bag in bottom of the well was out of logic. So I was thinking like there had to be like another magic available for the last key to use dens in bottom of the well to put that bomb bag in logic.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Where is
It's
that
in
magic?
Valley. It's in the waterfall in Valley.
Okay. Yeah, I figured it existed, so I kind of just played that I was actually in logic, and then so I just was pushing density, and then when Shadow, like I full committed to Shadow, and I got the hammer at the end, I'm like, oh, I've sunk so much time into this that I just have to stick with where I'm going right now, and if I'm just taking this big bait path, then I've already lost anyway, so I've just got to stay on like this route, and found the strength in fire, and it was just sick.
Yeah, you want to know where the iron boots are, though?
Yeah, where are they?
Hammer Fairy.
Nice.
So basically, that is the difference maker, is that you skipped Hammer Fairy, you went to Fire first.
Mhm.
Everyone else went to Hammer Fairy first, which I think, like, in general, that would be, like, the more technically optimal idea.
Yeah.
Because you could just skip out all of Fire, which is a lot of checks.
Yeah,
But
that makes sense.
Yeah, but because you didn't have a time delay between getting your last item and going, you saved a lot of time there.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's. But yeah, the seed was definitely just wanted to be weird today.
Yeah, just a casual oops AD type of seed.
We're making sure you see every dungeon.
Yeah, it was good. It was kind of good to show that, like, the way the hints sort of got spat out, like we got a double Evil's Bane because there's only one boss key path available. But you couldn't really use that to help you because you got a rover path. So if we hadn't have had a rover path, I would have been like, okay, my rover items are on the path to the bridge. But because we had the rover path, I was like, okay, yeah, I think Strength 2 is just anywhere here.
I mean, to be fair, I think we knew that our rover items were on path to the bridge the moment we saw that you couldn't go any further in Child Spirit.
Yeah. I was just I was praying that it was Longshot in Spirit Temple and not Iron Boots, because I was in big trouble if it was Irons.
Yeah, because we were crafting a world where it could be Zora Tunic, and then Zora Tunic's there too.
Yeah. Yeah, and I was starting to sweat in Water Temple on the boss key. I'm like, oh my god. And I just probably. I don't know when I would have gone back for the Crater Fairy, because I had, like, a huge ton of child cleanup to do. I had the big chest in the center of GTG Maze that I would have gone back for.
Yep.
So it would have been a while. So. Yeah. My guess is FW.
Could be FW, could be Strength 3.
Yeah.
We don't know.
So, no, there is no other strength available then, obviously.
None that we've seen.
Yeah.
Yeah, so everyone did have to end up kind of taking the same path we've seen. It was funny, like, everyone kind of had the vibe that they should go to Shadow Temple really early. So just casual triple Shadow, or just Stone Shadow early on. It was great. Only reason it wasn't quadruple is Ryukane took a little bit of time to get to the first hook shot.
I was so hyped when I pulled that bow off Big Goron because I had no hint for that.
I don't think we saw a hint for that.
I don't think we ever ended up seeing it. Ikola and Ryu both have that bow. Hell's got one in GTG.
Yeah, I was kind of sad when I saw that one in GTG. I'm like, ah, damn. Because, like, the eye drops were in, like, a
Southern Remote,
fairly bad location. Yeah.
Oof, Nubernakle is having her way with Ryukane today. But again, this was all, like, extremely close, and again, like, this seemed like a good length of seed here.
Yeah, it went a little faster than we were kind of anticipating, but that's always nice too. Yeah, for
there being whole dungeons, even the side dungeons, like, this was pretty fast.
And I can't think of much that we've left on the table. Like, it's, again, the only things we don't know are the very deep part of GTG and back of Forest, and again, very efficient, very good full clearing. This is why everything is much more competitive now, because you can do seeds faster. Because of just all the experience and technical knowledge that people have accumulated over time.
Yeah, it was nice that we were able to see that big chest there in fire. You and Ryu, for sure, did the hovers trick off of it.
Yeah.
Which looked so good.
It was kind of awkward because I wanted to jump down to the shortcut, but I also wanted to check the chest on the lower side. I was like, I just have to hover up twice. Because I didn't want to, like, spend any keys, because I hadn't... I didn't have long shot at that time, so I didn't want to have to get the Pierre key if I needed to come back, so...
Exactly. And Nicola's done now, so following up.
GG's.
GG's, and Hells will be there very shortly.
Yep. Ryu, not too long after that, just finishing up Twin. I am not sure if Ikola and Ryu will be joining us for interviews or if they'll just go straight to Pappy, but we'll see.
Alright. So we'll now have Ryukane climb up the tower and get our first S8 race done.
GG's.
Yeah, there's. Now, Hells is done. And this was just a very demanding seed. Abby's chosen to forfeit. To be fair, he's got about 6 minutes ahead of him.
Yeah, I get that.
I understand
Climbing
that.
back up tower, that. But GG's Ryu.
GG's Rio. That was, again, it was a rough seed, and everyone showed off very well here.
Yep. But yeah, for the longest time, I was not paying attention to keys in the well and was like, well, there must have been a bomb-locked key.
Yeah.
Or
I,
Ryu
um,
and
I-
Ikola would have picked it up, but there were 2 ZL locked keys, and they went in there without ZL the first time. So we're like, oh,
Yeah,
it
I
all
had-
makes
that ended up
sense.
having us confused on our end, because it's like, oh, can we actually get to that point? Is that our first bomb bag? What does this mean?
Yep.
Yeah, I dived back into my VOD just to make sure I didn't mispeak a key somewhere.
Nice.
Yeah.
Mario did that for us.
Yep.
I love that we started with chickens. It was amazing.
Yes.
Great seed.
50-50, like how you and Hals just did chickens immediately, then Wayne did some child stuff, and then Nicole and Rio came were doing it at the same time as well.
Yeah, I did it because I just wanted, like, I think it's efficient to grab the skull hints as child, like if you're in CAC.
Mhm.
So just kind of do chickens with it.
Yep. And again, it's not a bad thing to do right away, because when is it going to be more efficient?
Yeah, exactly.
When you have to full clear this entire seed, like you almost had to do, making every check as efficient as possible is long term a good plan. And we are
Welcome
joined
in,
by
Hells.
the Hells.
Hey, what's up? Jeez,
Yeah,
Hyper.
GG.
Yo, GG's.
So you've been pulled 2 seasons in a row for a little exhibition match, Hells. What are your thoughts after this one?
I gotta say, I don't remember the last year, so there's that. So I'm gonna say this one was better, I
You just blocked it out.
guess. 'Cause but no, it was fun. Yeah, I really, really don't remember. I gotta admit.
That's all right.
But no, it was a funny seed. I mean, I don't know. I guess I'll learn some things about this seed, I'm guessing.
Well, do you have any questions?
I don't know. Is there another strength? I guess.
We've not seen other strength.
Damn. Okay. Hyper's a god.
Hyper, when you went and got the iron boots first, Hyper elected to dive fire before going to the ferry. So basically, that's most of the time difference right there, is not going and doing water immediately, and then not like searching around after getting then searching around for that strength 2 further, because you can do water with just the gold scale in this case.
Oh, wait. Wait, I don't get it. So, like, because then you go to fire, you get the strength, then you get the long shot, and then you can do gold scale, okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I never even got the irons.
Yeah, okay. I see.
Yeah, so that saves you a good amount of time, because you just don't have any of the movement you're doing between getting the irons, going looking in water for your strength 2, and then going back and figure out that you want to go dive fire.
But I guess the water doesn't matter anyway, because the BK was at the end, right?
Yeah, the water didn't matter that much, yeah. But
Yeah,
that's
you
why,
probably
like,
just
it's
did
a
central
good
pillar.
decision. Yeah, the only difference being you did central pillar, but that's not that big of a time difference. But yeah.
Yeah. Cassandra reminding us in chat, there is a bow on Big Goron.
Oh, damn, okay.
Yep. So everyone else had that bow for quite a while, and you were reversing to GTG first, and we're like, oh, that feels bad. There's a bow available, and then you ended up pulling a bow in GTG. So that was a good pull for you.
Yeah, I almost did Big Goron after I got the Iron Boots, but I wasn't sure if I got a Big Goron hint or if it was Frogs too. And just because of that, I thought, yeah, I'm not gonna do it. What if I'm an idiot and I still have the hint? But I guess at that point it didn't matter anymore, since I already had the bow.
Yeah,
Did we
exactly.
say something about the fourth Triforce being remember what the heck you did?
The first what?
Oh, the fourth Triforce piece is remembering what you did?
Yeah, basically, yeah. In the last 5 minutes even, like, I don't know.
It's why we can never collect that one. No one has it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think overall, like, I guess my one question would be with the double Evil's Bane hint, did that throw you off at all? Or, like, not having any extra information because of that?
I mean, I don't know. It was my first seed with having Evil's Bane for, like, any hint, but I think I kind of understand how it works from, like, SGL and all. Unless I missed something, but, like, it was like, okay, this is going to lead to light arrows.
Oh, yeah.
And then it was
So
weird
you felt
because
like
it was
you were
locking so
missing
much,
stuff.
but yeah.
Like, you're missing out on, like, hints towards the rest of the seed because of it.
Yeah. I'm guessing, like, that strength in Deku was... Wait, so... Because since we didn't get everything was on the path to Shadow Spirit or Evil's Bane, I guess, and that's why we didn't get any Kakiri Sword or Bomb Bag hint.
Yeah.
And then the strength in Deku is also, like, required, I think, because to
As
get the
far as
Bomb
we
Bag in the
know-
well.
Yes. The Strength of Deku is also... We know that it has to be required in some way for getting the Spirit because the Fire Temple strength would be strength locked, so...
Yeah, because
And
otherwise we
Bomb
would have gotten a Kakiri Sword hint, I think.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so if you had a Baron Deku in that case, so swap Jabu and Deku, and then you would be able to get a Kakiri Sword hit. But you'd be able to get hit towards Boomerang.
Mm-hmm.
But in this case, because you had to open the Deku tree to get the strength upgrade, Kakiri Sword belonged to water, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
It belonged to
But
more
then... Yeah, but then I guess because you're like, okay, well, Strength 2 has to be Strength 1 locked, but that just means Explosives locked, which means everything locks.
Yeah. Yeah. When you have a weird explosive path, that always happens, though.
Yeah, I have this out of logic tracking part on my tracker, and it's just cluttered with items because I never went back in logic.
Yeah, that's fair. Hell's that magic in Valley. We're like, oh, that's a huge pickup, and then of course there was that other one. Just love.
It was logically first magic, though.
But it was logically like locking your other magic.
Oh yeah, so there you go. No, I was pretty happy, but like because I only did Valley because of time of day, because I was like, okay, I don't have that many items, and I want to do like Richard and Dampe.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought, okay, and since I got the Requiem song, I was like, night, it's not going to take that long. So then I went to Open Grotto, and then I thought, yeah, I'll just come and do Valley. But then I got something in Valley, so I didn't do the night checks. And then the magic was useless, so then in the end, all of that was useless anyway. It was just...
Yeah. That's what it always feels like when you go out really far out of the way for a child check. It's like, either this is a waste of time, and I was come back for it, or I actually get something, now I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, I feel like whenever you try to scum time of day for Dampe, and you're like, oh, let me just do this check, and then it's always an awkward item that you're not even 100% sure is going to be good. Like, shit, well, I went all this way, I gotta keep it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any final thoughts on the seed or settings from either of you?
Oh, I mean, I like the Shadow Spirit Light Arrow Bridge. Like, I think it's going to be an interesting change compared to other times we've had, like, whenever it's like 2 medallions or 3 medallions. Like, I like that it's specifically these two. So it's really going to vary from seed to seed. But plus with the light arrow hint and those hints, I mean, it could bring some interesting like logic chains and all. So. So it doesn't feel like other seasons where like, oh, well, we have trials all the time. Like I guess it's different the way it's gonna go. So no, should be fun.
Yeah, this showed up exactly the correct amount of trials for one head of seed. So you need everything except for your mirror shield, which you know is in trials.
Yeah.
Which made it possible for you to dip out of spirit the moment you get your long shot, which is nice.
Yeah, I mean, I was worried about strength 3. Like, I thought maybe I should have stayed until the BK in case I find strength 3 on the way.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Like, I guess that would have been a bit better.
Yeah.
But then it's like, oh, okay, mirror shield's just here. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, all I have to say is get ready for daily hyper pings again.
You are just alone going to double the number of practice races from S6 or 7. You're just going to, because there were like 60 practice races, and you're gonna get real close to that on your own.
The worst part is like, because like my time of day is like horrible for everyone else, so I just ping everyone at like 4 a.m.
Hey, can't sleep, Hyper's pinged you.
That's fine. You know what? Typically leading up to the main tournament, someone is always up for a pickup race, so hopefully that picks up again for you.
I hope so too.
So thank you again, Hyper and Hells, 2 of our runners. Ikola and Ryu, thank you both as well. I am guessing you are over with Papi and Barbu, but thanks for racing. Our trackers today. Bot, please. Thank you. Carliana, Tomal, Palm, and Baseball pushing all the buttons so we don't have to. Much appreciated. Tobias also not tracking but restreaming for us. And Jax, thanks for being on comms with me.
Mel, thank you for being on comms with me. It's great to get this kicked off and finally see our little S8 fledgling just like go out into the world.
Yep. We'll see you all in the discussion channels, and I'll turn it over to Tobias to take us out.
I mean, you basically said everything that I was also intending on saying. Thank you all for watching. Thank you. Thanks to everyone who put this restream together. Thank you also to everyone, to all my fellow tournament organizers, because quite honestly, I know I've at some point I've just had to not do. Let's put it this way: I had a few weeks where I didn't have to have the time to dedicate to pushing this forward, and everyone else had. I don't even want to say picked up the slack. They just pushed forward regardless. In any case, all I have to say is thank you all for watching. I'm really. I can only echo what Mel said, that I'm looking forward to hearing from you in the discussion channels, and hoping that we've put together something that you all enjoy. I really think that the settings as a whole really play well, and I hope you give them a whirl. In the meantime, though, I'm going to ask you what you get when you take OT and basically turn up the creep factor to 11. You get Majora's Mask. That's what you get. And I'm going to kick you over to Zelda Speedruns 3, where there's currently a Majora's Mask Randomizer Season 5 race going on. Winner brackets round 3. It's Exodus versus Ares. That is at least... those are names I've heard before. And we hope you enjoy that as well. I'll see you on Zelda Speedruns and elsewhere on the internet. Bye!